see them lined up, dollar signs in their eyes. They're feeling bullish, but I smell the lies. They're double down and begging fate for a break. I'm cutting my losses before theirs escalate. They're playing slots while I'm running the floor. They're leveraging debt, I'm stacking up more. They hold their breath, I hold conviction. They're dreaming big, I trade with precision. They scream diamond hands, but it's paper thin. Every bounce back's just another dead end. They follow the herd, I lead the decay. They're buying my bags while I walk away. No one does it better, no one comes close. They're drowning in red while I overdose. I'm taking the spread, they're chasing the top. They're bag holding stocks that already dropped. No parachutes when you're late to the trade. I'm building my throne while they dig their own graves. I time the peaks, I call the lows. I'm the best fucking trader this side of the Mississippi, you already know. And FOMO creeps in, now they're margin maxed. Their brokers smile while they sign the contracts. They're dreaming of riches, I'm stacking receipts. They're taking the bait, I'm cutting the leash. They're reading the charts like it's prophecy. I'm moving the dark, keep them guessing on me. They pray for a breakout, I profit on pain. They hope for the future, I play for today. They chant to the moon with their hands in the fire. I'm pulling my chips while they bid it up higher. They're worshiping memes, I'm counting my stacks. They're calling it faith, I'm calling it tax. No one does it better, no one comes close. They're drowning in red while I overdose. I'm taking the spread, they're chasing the top. They're bag holding stocks that already dropped. No parachutes when you're late to the trade. I'm building my throne while they dig their own graves. I time the peaks, I call the lows. I'm the best fucking trader this side of the Mississippi, you already know. You want the throne, then bleed for the seat. Don't bet against me, don't bet against me. They swear they're wolves, but they follow like sheep. They hold till it's worthless, I sell while they sleep. No one does it better, no one comes close. They're drowning in red while I overdose. I'm taking the spread, they're chasing the top. They're bag holding stocks that already dropped. No parachutes when you're late to the trade. I'm building my throne while they dig their own graves. I time the peaks, I call the lows. I'm the best fucking trader this side of the Mississippi, you already know. Mississippi, you already know.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. This is what desperation looks like. Your eyes are not deceiving you. I have officially put back on my Lucky Buffalo shirt because I'm running out of options here. I'm hemorrhaging money in this market. I hate trading in this environment, and evidently, I am at my wit's end. I know that the song that you guys all got amped up for was a little bit more bombastic, a little bit more like, hey, I'm crushing the market. And that's wishful thinking. Maybe it was true like a couple weeks ago. Hopefully it'll be true as soon as today, maybe next week, something like that. But in real time, no. I'm at the point where I don't even know what to do besides trying to like optimize my luck levels. That's the point of trading that I'm at, where I'm like, all right, I throw on my lucky socks, my lucky underwear, my lucky shirt, lucky rabbit's paw, like something with horseshoes, something with 4-leaf clovers. I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything I possibly can to like turn this around, because it is not been my environment. In fact, I've been really taking a deep dive into my trading journal. And ever since the Rose Garden event with Trump, that's where everything went off the rails. Everything was great up until that point, actually like a stellar start. And then ever since then, it's just so quickly getting destroyed. And maybe there's a better way to articulate this, but it just feels like we're continually being lied to. As in, someone from the administration says something, market reacts, cool, we play that trend, new development. And then they walk it back. They're like, no, that's not right. And this has happened a multitude of times. And it literally happened as recently as yesterday. We got all these reports. We got reports from the Wall Street Journal, Financial Times. We even got commentary from the White House press secretary. Hey, we're making great progress. Like, we're talking to China. Great. And then like, no, we're not. We're at this point where not only do you have to kind of trade in a manner in which you have to anticipate what the headlines might be, but we're in this crazy world where then you have to ask yourself, oh, is the news real? Because it seems like there's very legitimately a 50-50 shot of any major announcement of tariffs going up or down, deal talks progressing, not progressing. And then all of a sudden there's like a 50-50 shot of it just gets like completely switched. Like, it's the most, in my opinion, the most frustrating time to trade, because this isn't trading. This isn't you looking at the trends of the fundamentals of a company, of it improving, not improving in your projection on the quarter. This isn't reading the options flow and looking at these key levels. This isn't even really technicals, because on a moment's notice, we are getting news that can send the market haywire. And I'm talking multiple percent. And then X amount of time later, the news might be confirmed. It also might be like, no, we have no idea what they're talking about. There's not a situation here where like it feels like what I like about the market, and I was saying this in the Discord yesterday, was to me, it was a math-based puzzle. And if you solve that math-based puzzle, you got money. That's how I like the market, because you could do the statistics of it, risk, reward, but it was a math-based game, you noticing trends and patterns. Of course, you could be a degenerate gambler, but whatever. That's what I liked about it, was like, okay, if I can understand math better than the next person, if I can understand the patterns of said math better than the next person, that means I get money. That's why I like the market. You solve a math problem, you get money. Liked it. It was easy. Cool. Let's go. And then it's now in this situation where you could take the math and throw it out the window, because it doesn't matter. Any of the trends, anything we're seeing, it's more than just a news-driven environment. Like, we've heard that before. I've probably said it a ton in the past couple of weeks of like headlines. Yes, but I don't know if we've ever really been in a situation where, yes, it's a headline-driven environment, but it's also a headline-driven environment where also half the headlines are maybe true and maybe false, and could be within a couple minutes or maybe a couple days completely like turned and said, nope, that's complete BS. And then we're also in a situation where we're pitched news, we could be told it's false, and then a couple days later it can magically become true. So, and that's more of like the 90-day pause thing, where Hassett came on and the news reported, 90-day pause with China. Market went crazy. White House said, no, not real. That was on a Monday. And then Tuesday, nothing happened. On then Wednesday, it became actually real news. And then that's when we had that absolutely massive gain. So it's just like, we're getting news. We don't know if it's real or not. And then even if it is real or not, and then it's confirmed to be real or not, even that in itself could be completely switched, which is the most insane thing. So obviously, I don't want to come to all of you guys and just give you a problem. Obviously, if I come to you with bemoaning a particular fact, I also want to come to you with a solution. So obviously, if you were a reasonable, logical person, the option here is to just not trade. That's it. To be completely honest and frank, that is what you should do. It's like, okay, this is an unprecedented environment where you don't necessarily have an edge. So what do you do in that? You step away. If you go to a casino and you're being told a particular game is absolute ass, you don't play that game. That makes sense. All right, so that would be, I would say, the conservative, realistic, not even conservative, just like logical solution here. Now, with that being said, I know many of the members of the audience, myself included, are complete degenerates. So with that being said, I also want to give a secondary answer of like, okay, you heard my warning. We all logically understand that that's the right way to do it. Then the next thing is you're like, well, okay, I'm going to play this game anyway because you're jonesing for it. You want something to do. So with that, let's just assume right now, because of the absurd nature, the chaotic, high uncertainty of the time, that pretty much there's no edge. Pretty much whatever you're doing on a moment's notice, you have a 50-50 shot. whenever you put on a trade, whether bullish or bearish, it does not matter. From the moment you put it on right now, especially in the short term, you have a 50% chance of it going up. You have a 50% chance of it going down. It doesn't matter. Maybe historically you were using your systems and you were looking at technicals and blah, 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 blah. It does not matter. Normally, the market is normally distributed 50-50 shot, and there were certain times where you could find edges, like a 10% edge, a 15% edge, and this setup, that setup, whatever. Does not matter. But I think now more so than any time I've ever traded in my entire career, that at any given moment, you have absolutely no clue. 50% shot. So if you're playing a game of quarters with your buddy and you're playing 50-50, well, how do you win? Well, you win in the net by being net profitable, not necessarily more than winning 50%. Let's pretend that 50% win, that's an axiom, as in you're not going to be able to change that. All you can do there is just ensure whenever you win, you have to win more than you lose. If every single time you win $2, but when you lose $1, well, you're going to be net ahead. So yes, you're still going to take your licks. You're going to lose half the time, and you have to have the appropriate bet size to obviously survive all the variance. But folks, you are living in a 50-50 game. It's a 50-50 game. So the math of how you can be net profitable in this is your bet sizing and also paying attention to your risk reward. If you are playing a 50-50 game and your reward is going to pay off more than your risk, and you are doing it initially with the proper bet sizing relative to your overall account, that is how you could be net profitable. So I think going into this and surviving this environment, keep that math in your mind. Don't get into a situation where you're letting your losses completely balloon, and whenever you have a little bit of green, you are locking that in. Because once again, you don't know what the next bar is going to be. It might be for you, it might be against you, but to survive this game, you have to ensure whatever you are continually risking, whatever your unit risk is, and for my sports bettors, obviously this will make like a lot of sense to you. Whatever your unit bet is, you have to ensure that when you are getting your payout, it's more than that unit bet. As long as you are going for reward more than your risk in this environment, that's the way to play. That is the mathematical breakdown of, I would argue, the highest chance of surviving this absolute insanity. So I just wanted to say that because, I mean, yesterday, we had good news. We had legitimately good news. Then Besant, in his talk, we streamed that yesterday, the Treasury Secretary, he kind of squashed it. And then into the afternoon, we sell off. And then we started to pop, and we got some more positive news of like, okay, Trump and Powell, well, he's not going to fire him. So that's awesome. We're getting some commentary that the talks are progressing with China. And then we even got information on auto tariffs last night. And for those of you trading futures or just looking at the post market, you saw we got a bit of a pop. And once again, these were all positive things being reported by the Wall Street Journal, all positive things being reported by the Financial Times, all positive commentary coming out of the White House press secretary. And then before you know it, all that good news, markets going up, and then one thing leads to another, and that's not true. We're either being told it's true, or commentary is just being complete, like, nope, that's a complete lie. Like right now, as a person actively paying attention to the market or the news, we are either, I'm not saying that they're a liar, but I'm definitely not calling them a truther, because the things we are being told to our face within hours, someone else is saying, what the fuck are you talking about? Like they're just like completely like, no, we have like literally no idea what that is whatsoever. So good luck with that, Tonto. And right here, I will show it to all of you. Let me switch this up so you can see what's going on. Stock futures slip after major averages post back-to-back gains. So quick reminder of yesterday, we had a nice gap up, and then we ended up selling off, and that was all in the news that Trump has no plans to fire Powell. And then we also got commentary Vietnam is at the table for negotiation. We got commentary that maybe China, the talks there are progressing. And then obviously we had a little bit of excitement, and that all obviously started to turn right around 10:30, and that was during the Besant commentary. He was at some sort of giving a speech in Chicago or something like that. And then we sold off. And then we had a little bit of pop in post-market trading. Once again, good news that was then completely rugging us. And right now we are slowly but painfully trying to climb back. And at this moment in time, we're pretty much at the closing value from yesterday. Yes, we are slightly above the close on both the SPY and the Qs, but pretty much right at it. So here's all the craziness that's been going on. Confidence in Trump's handling of the U.S. economy plummets, according to some new polls. Just 37% of Americans approve of President Donald Trump's handling of the economy, according to a new poll. But once again, I'm right there with you. You could trust a poll as far as you can throw it. So with that, we know that these polls can be hyper biased based on who they're intentionally polling. And obviously they could get the numbers to reflect a particular bias that they might already have. So I'm bringing this up because this is now on the back of a couple polls where actually overall as a president, he's doing fine, but specifically in the financial economic questions, like those sub questions, that's where he's not doing so hot. About 59% of Americans disapprove of Trump's tariffs on goods for most other countries. There is a partisan split in Americans' confidence in Trump's ability to handle the economy. So he's getting into murky waters. For him, relative to the same polls that have asked these same questions about him for not just this presidency, but also his last tenure, this is his lowest economic rating he's ever received in roughly the 5 years of him being president. So hopefully this is a bottom, and hopefully not only the economy and the market improve, but obviously I hope that the polls approve. I guess out of my own morbid curiosity here, now that we're talking about it, apparently 1 in 3 people approve with his quote unquote handling of the economy. So questions to you guys. Do you approve or disapprove? I'd be kind of curious. Obviously, Reuters here is going to be polling a very different audience than who we have in chat. I don't think that they're just going up to your fellow degenerate trader. So I'm just kind of curious where you guys are at. Do you approve? Do you disapprove? Quick thumbs up, quick thumbs down. I want to know if you guys are like roughly reflecting this 1/3 rate, or are you guys closer to 50-50? Are you above 50-50? Are you below the 1/3? I just kind of want to know where you guys are at. Approve. Well, that's no surprise that Rumble is way more than the 1/3. Approve, disapprove. All right. And then it appears that YouTube is closer to the 50-50. So it's interesting for me because we have this poll, but then yet you guys who are actively following clearly the market and trading, you guys are above that 1/3 number. Interesting. Yeah, just curious to know, to see how it all splits. So not you guys. Obviously, you guys are not reflective of what we have going on in this poll. But for whoever they did poll, it has a lot to relate to, obviously, China and the uncertainty of the situation. China says U.S. should revoke unilateral tariffs and denies talks. So we were told to our face. The Globe was told that, yes, talks are progressing. This came from the White House secretary. And wouldn't you know it? It was 100% denied. This little video coming out of China. China says it has not had any trade negotiations with the U.S., contradicting President Trump's claims. So Trump claimed it. You had Levitt claiming it, that they want a deal. We're making the initial steps of progress. And then China's coming back literally like over the evening, basically saying, no, not at all.
We've
been hearing the U.S. say that China and the U.S. have been having talks and even about to reach a deal. Can you confirm whether the two sides are in talks? None of that is true. As I have learned, China and U.S. are not having any consultation or negotiation on the tariffs, less still reaching a deal. This tariff war is launched by the U.S. China's position is consistent and clear. We will fight. If we fight, we will open. Our doors are open. Dialogue and negotiation, we must be based on equality, respect, and mutual benefit. That's the spokesperson. So I should add as a caveat here, when you are getting news that is obviously contradictory, one side saying we're talking, one side saying that we're not talking, I'm in no way telling you who's right. Maybe they have been having talks and China's lying about it. Maybe we haven't been having talks and the U.S. is lying about it. So whatever it is I'm telling you as a member of the Globe, as I'd assume everyone watching this stream is I'm in no way trying to guess who is being a liar here and who's being a truther here. All I'm telling you is we have contradicting information, which makes it extremely difficult as an active trader, as a day trader, as a swing trader. I don't know. Someone's not telling the truth. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know who isn't telling the truth. I could argue in either side from a game theory standpoint why one person would want to lie and the other person would want to lie. So, has China lied in the past? Yes. Has the U.S. lied in the past? Yes. In this particular one, I don't know who the liar is. I'm just saying that clearly something is going on. And that's exactly why the market is going absolutely haywire once again. Trump's U-turn on Powell in China follows dire economic warning. So this relates not only to the giant gap up we saw yesterday, but also the sell-off and then the awkwardness post-market close yesterday. But here you could hear from Trump himself.
It's all coming down. The only thing that hasn't come down but hasn't gone up much are interest rates, and we think the Fed should lower the rate. We think that it's a perfect time to lower the rate, and would like to see our chairman be early or on time as opposed to late. Late's not good.
Mr. President, you've said
I don't want to talk about that because
That's
I have
Powell,
no intention
by the way.
of firing him.
Mr. President,
There are reports that you're considering doing something for moms across the country, giving them some type of bonus whenever they have a child. Are you considering that? Or are you
Sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah, please.
So to clarify, you have no intention of firing Jerome Powell because your economic advisor Kevin Hassett a few days ago said that you and people in the White House were studying this idea of possibly getting before his term ends.
No.
Do you have any plans on doing that?
None whatsoever. Never did. The press runs away with things. No, I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him
Market loved that.
be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No, it's not. But it would be good timing. It could have taken place earlier. But no, I have no intention to fire him.
We want to get more on the president's remarks just now and turn back to Michael McKee, Bloomberg International
All right.
Economic.
We don't have to go into the rest of it. But you kind of, I'm painting the picture here, and I'm no Bob Ross, but I think your guys are getting you're getting a sense for the overall situation. President Xi Jinping is ratcheting up China's pain threshold for a long fight with Trump. Censorship and surveillance have helped keep the Communist Party in control, and they are getting better. So they're kind of digging in, and we're also, at one point yesterday, you might be wondering, well, hang on, why were things so good? At midday, we kind of got hit. Well, it's actually commentary from the Treasury Secretary that a deal might take up to 2 to 3 years. And everyone's like, oh, great, we're talking about getting a deal. And then I believe it was maybe Politico who reported that, and the market liked it. And then the next report was, but it might take to 2-3 years. And everyone's like, oh, that's not what we wanted to hear. So, hey, you live by the headlines, you die by the headlines. U.S. officials mull easing tariff targeting the auto industry. So this was the hot report as of market close last night. The Trump administration is considering reducing certain tariffs targeting the auto industry, which car maker executives have warned would deal a severe blow to profits and jobs. So as you might imagine, this had a pretty crazy impact on stocks like GM, where the report came out and everything popped. And as I've been saying this entire show, yep. And then they're like, nah, we're not doing that. So we're getting all these reports, and then they're very quickly getting walked back, which makes it very, very frustrating. And it makes you really kind of question any of the news coming out, because you don't know if it's legit news, or you don't know if 15 minutes later they're going to rug you and be like, no, that's actually not real. So you could see that in automakers like GM, Stellantis, even a little bit of Tesla, like, oh, they're not going to do tariffs. No, okay. And like literally they just walked it back. So we're getting these reports from the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, and Bloomberg, and people react to it. And then the White House walks it back, or vice versa. The White House says something, and then maybe even the White House contradicts the White House, or the White House says something and China contradicts it, or someone in the administration has an interview and the headline isn't appropriate, and then it becomes true a couple days later. We're just living in chaos. We're living in absolute chaos. So with that being said, yes, you should pay attention to some of the major macroeconomic events. Durable goods came in way higher than expected, 2.1% versus 9.2%. And initial jobless claims this morning came in exactly at expectation. I also want to know in a little bit, we're going to get existing home sales. Those are some things obviously coming out today. We're also in earnings season. American Airlines, Southwest, Merck, PepsiCo, they all reported. The big one after market closes today is Google, aka Alphabet, and then Intel. So those are two big tech names you might want to be paying attention to. And then next week is when we really get some of those high-flying tech names. With respect to the ones that just came out, Chipotle is seeing a quote-unquote slowdown in consumer spending as 2025 gets off to a rough start. PepsiCo cuts earnings forecast as it predicts uncertainty in tariffs and consumer spending. Merck lowers its profit outlook, partly due to a $200 million expected tariff hit. And last but not least, Southwest to cut flights this year, pulls guidance, citing macroeconomic uncertainty. Once again, if you guys haven't done it already, sign up for the newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com. It's in the description of the video. My mod will put in chat. This is 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. Comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. I break down what's going on in the market. I give you all the earnings. I highlight the ones I think you're going to care about the most. I give you a little cheat sheet of the macroeconomic events. So for example, the next one we have is at 10 a.m., the existing home sales. I give you the seasonality of each individual day. Today, specifically over the past 27 years, it's a bit more bearish. For quite a while, it was like grinding up bullish. And then in the past 3 to 4 years, there were some pretty big hits on this particular day, sending it slightly more into the bearish territory. But I don't think that right now is the environment to necessarily trade by seasonality, but in most environments, it's actually a very, very useful tool. Now, coming back to the overall market, I do want to kind of remind you where we're at. We are still within the range created on Wednesday, April the 9th. This is that big announcement, kind of the surprise announcement from Trump when we had that record-breaking gain, followed by almost a circuit breaker loss the next day. But anyway, we were grinding up on Friday and Monday, the 11th and the 14th. Everyone, myself included, thought we were going to break out, get this upside gap fill. It never came. In fact, we got hit. Then we ended up double bottoming at the low that we saw on Thursday. And then recently, not only Tuesday, but yesterday, we started to pop. And once again, everyone's like, dude, are we going to get this breakout and go and get this upside gap fill? And apparently the answer was no, because we got really close and then just got smacked. So that is putting us in a situation where we have an upside gap fill to 5572 and a downside gap fill to 5309. And the golden question is, which one is going to get filled first? As of right now, here, let me update this just to see roughly where spot price is at. We are at 5366. So we were at 5366. So pretty much right where my cursor is. Obviously, we are closer to the downside gap fill, but in this environment, as you're kind of getting from the tone of this show, who in the world knows which way? It could be this one, it could be that one, or for all I know, we're going to be in this range until I'm an old withered man. I have no idea. Bringing it back to today specifically, these are the key levels that I'll personally be watching. So on the screen now, you have the S&P 500 index. Remember, if you want to trade SPY, go for it. But in terms of the key levels, definitely use SPX. It's a lot more of a popular, much more liquid, has much more depth. This is what big institutional money is trading. They trade SPX. They don't trade SPY. So if you want to trade SPY for the overall market, have at it. But in terms of watching your key levels, definitely highly recommend paying attention to SPX. Regardless, this white block is the transition zone. Above it, I would say on a 0 DTE perspective, the bulls are in control, i.e. and then also the converse here is if we're below it, I would say the bears are going to be in control. So my transition zone is between 5385 and 5335. This is on a 0 DTE perspective where you see both the GEX, the gamma, and then the DEX, the delta, transitioning from positive to negative or negative to positive, depending on what side you're coming from. So for me, I'd be looking for bullish opportunities up here, and I'd be looking for bearish opportunities down here. Now, I know in a lot of these shows, when I'm starting you off, I give you my bias on the day based on various things going on. And right now, to be completely honest, subconsciously, I'm biased to the upside because I do currently have calls. But if I were being objective with no position, I would actually be neutral right now. Because in the short term, we see that the overall option chain, it is call dominated in the short term. But then by the time you go to the medium and longer term, it's put dominated. So that's a little bit of mixing information. Other stuff, such as we have an upside gap fill, downside gap fill, looking at what's going on right here. Captain Condor is back, putting some guardrails on the day. The upper bound is 5445. Yes, Captain Condor has not played for a while, but Captain Condor is back. You have the call credit spread of the Iron Condor up at 5445, and then you have the put credit spread of the Condor at 5290. So that is once again putting some guardrails on the day, an upper bound and a lower bound. Of course, Captain Condor can get it wrong. There's been many times that we've had the show and we've seen Captain Condor get blown out, but obviously at positions that sizable, there's going to be a clear influence on how market makers have to react to it. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the Wall Street Journal article about Captain Condor. Captain Condor is not some gigantic hedge fund quant firm with a bunch of PhDs. It's actually an options trading room. They did an entire breakdown on the Wall Street Journal. So in a certain way, it made me kind of respect the position less because it's like one giant Discord. It is not some like Wall Street professional. It's some Discord from a dude in Nevada that he basically gives out a signal and then a bunch of people in the Discord copy it. So I don't know, like I have no reason to believe he's some sort of mathematical savant breaking down volatility or anything like that. So in a weird way, it kind of makes me care about the positions a little bit less. I just want to share that with you, that it is not a Wall Street professional. It is literally an options trading room. So with that being said, you still have to, at a minimal level, respect it because of the huge gamma and delta influence when we get there. But in terms of, do they know something that we don't know? Once again, it is literally just a Discord group, and it's just apparently a Discord group with quite a bit of money, and they are absolutely ripping it. So I just want to point that out, and obviously feel free to screenshot that. These are the key levels. The green, the red, and the white are yesterday's high, low, and close. This is the transition zone. We have this gap fill. That's the blue line. Let me delete that for now. And then the yellow/golden lines are the key open interest levels that we can see as of market open. And of course, I will update them throughout the day. And with all of that being said, hang on. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. And if not, have fun. All right. So, I obviously have not traded. Well, I was trying to get some accounts passed this morning. Let me switch this up so you guys can see. Here's my accounts. I blew my accounts out yesterday, so I'm on a fresh batch of Apex accounts. And then also recently, I passed all of my take profits as well. So I don't just have my 20 Apex. I actually have 5 more. I have 5 take profits. So currently, I have 25 accounts, all fresh at 50,000. If you guys have been watching the show recently, you know I've been having my ass handed to me. I crushed it in December, January, February, first week of March, and ever since the first week of March, my futures trading has gone to shit. In the month of March, my option trading was on fire, and then we got into the month of April, and after the first week of April, I have not been able to find my groove whatsoever, and this is the brutal nature of trading. You're going to be cyclical. You're going to have your high highs, you're going to have your low lows, and unfortunately, I thought I was at my valley, but apparently my trading career is currently in like a death valley situation, and what I thought was the bottom was just the start of a very, very fucking deep cave. And I feel like at this point I'm cave diving, and before you know it, I'm going to be in the fucking middle of the earth, and I'm just finding a new low, a new low, a new low, a new low. So it's one of those things where, like, congrats, like, you found a rock bottom, dude. You can bounce off of it, build a foundation, and go. And apparently I haven't found a rock bottom. Apparently what I did find was like some high-end excavator, and I'm digging a goddamn hole to China at this point. So we're going to see how it's going to go. I can't make any promises whatsoever. I'm just ripping. I'm at the point of literally I just might live in my lucky shirt until I find some form of success. Like, that's my biggest plan. But we're going to see how it all plays out. So someone in here, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was a couple people. You said wait till 10 a.m. And I was trying to find, I was following my bot system yesterday. So honestly, out of all the times I've recently blown out, yesterday didn't bother me because I followed my system. The system fired, and it just so happened that the adverse move the second I got in was so bad that it just completely destroyed me. And then someone in chat said, hey, Matt, just wait till 10, wait a little bit more as you normally do. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really necessarily agree, because the system fired earlier. Generally, if I'm manually trading, doing my old thing, I try to wait till 10. But then I thought, well, hang on. What if I take the system, but then also put on that rule? So last night I was doing some back testing, and not necessarily 10, but I did find in this environment, as in the past 4 weeks, the performance of that system actually increased dramatically by waiting till after 10, as in not just 10, but more like 10, 10, 10, 15. And once again, now we're getting away from the math and just my theory on it. I think maybe what's happening is letting those first 45 minutes play out, roughly about 10, 15-ish, is I think it allows a lot of that volatility to die out. But then what's also interesting is when I was doing this time frame research on it, it also suggested a fucking quit at noon. So it was weird. I found this this window where it was still, even in this recent chaos, actually still profitable. And it wasn't just wait, it was wait, but then also stop early. And I think it's something about just either the announcements, or maybe there's a weird little intraday market regime shift post lunch. But I just wanted to share that with you because I was like, okay, at first, when I first created the system historically, the window was actually 9:45 to 1 p.m. Like just you can take any trades within that window, but then don't trade it before and don't trade after. And what's interesting is in the recent batch of data, the window actually got really small. It was more so suggesting 10:15-ish plus or minus about 5 minutes up till noon. So I just wanted to share that with you because I don't know, sometimes you guys give me really good ideas. So I just wanted to say thank you because I was like, oh, maybe I should reevaluate it because obviously there's something very different is going on in the market. And when I first created the actual system, clearly I was not like taking in the data that we currently have going on. So on a quick analysis of it, there seemingly was a way to make it profitable, but what I had to do was really, really shorten the trading windows. I had to start later and end earlier. So maybe we'll see what the hell's going on. I don't know though. Just adapt to new info. Well, it's kind of hard though because you don't know like how long that new environment is going to last. This environment, I would say, is lasting way longer than anyone anticipated. I don't think anyone thought in like late April we would still be dealing with this shit. I mean, I think a month ago, people thought, myself included, that by this point we'd be ripping back and trade deals would be made. I mean, we're a good 20% of the way into this 90-day pause and no trade deals have been made. No trade deals have been made. So we're going to see how it goes. China not negotiating with the U.S. on trade war, Beijing says. Trump recently suggested the 145% tariff on China could be reduced substantially. This is BS. Stop tanking. Once again, it feels like we have to be not only ready for news, but then we have to be ready for the news to be completely contradicted because that's apparently the world we're in. So stay frosty, folks. Obviously, we're going to be checking out the options flow throughout the day. Thus far, the Mag 7 looking pretty good for the first 5 minutes. We got a nice pop up there. Looking at the S&P 500, we got a pop up until the first 2.5 minutes, and now we're starting to drop, and we just barely made a fresh flow. So no clear night. Like generally in here, the trades are easy when we're either rocketing or completely tanking. But right now, the options flow is a little bit messy, I would argue, if anything. Here, let me go back to this. Right now, the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, and 4-hour are all bullish with respect to momentum. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bullish. So right away, not completely panning my buys, but it does influence my buys to more so be looking for bullish opportunity. When you're above on the 5, the 10, the 30, and the 4-hour, that's bullish. When you're above on the 5, the 10, the 30, the 4-hour, that's bullish. So like I said, this isn't the end all be all, but it's just another piece of information and you have to rank it accordingly, but you want to take in as much info as you can get. And when all of a sudden everything is pointing in one direction or the other, that's generally the position you want to be taking. But I should also let you know, we are still in this chop zone. We are trying to get out. Remember, the top side is bullish, bottom side is bearish. How do I come up with this? These are all from the options market. On a 0 DTE perspective, from my DGen 0 DTE traders, this is where both the gamma and the delta will be transitioning, which has a market, like a clear, measurable influence on market makers and how they have to manage their books and react to the market. As in, it's going to be bullish influences above, bearish influences below, and within it, it's going to be choppy. So this is like a kind of just a drunken stupor stumbling range. So above it, once again, great. And if we can break and hold above 85, I'd be looking for 4,000. If we can break and hold above 4,000, I'd be looking for somewhere within this 5-point region. However, if we get smacked, of course, we have yesterday's closing value, might be support. We have yesterday's low value, might be support. But really, things get legitimately bearish on a 0 DT perspective below 5,335. If we break out of that, then I'd be watching 5,310, then 5,300. We also have some positioning from that Captain Condor at 5,290. So keeping it simple. Bullish above, bearish below, and just playing from key level to key level to key level. In heightened, insane environments like this, I think we just got to use the KISS methodology. Keep it simple, stupid. Look for the classic bull setups. Look for the classic bear setups. Don't be married to one position or the other, and definitely don't fight the trend. And without a doubt, have some sort of stop loss in because we don't know when things are going to reverse. In this environment, markets reverse on a dime, and it can be extraordinarily painful. So let's just calm, cool, collected. let's see how things play out. Let's not really front run anything. The Qs are clearly just in a range right out of the gate. We're not breaking out. We're not breaking down. The SPY had a little bit of a price breakdown, but quickly bounced right back into it. Like I said, we are on the bullish side of all the EMA clouds. So we're getting a little bit of conflicting information. Looking at the Mag 7, the Delta is actually looking pretty decent. So to be fair, we're only 9 minutes into the day. And I know as well as you guys do, especially looking at the market yesterday, this can also turn on a dime. But as of now, the Mag 7, the combination of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla is showing some bullish optimism. Puts are being sold and calls are being purchased. So, okay, interesting to pay attention to. And the S&P 500 is doing nothing. It's lethargic. It's sold off, it bounced. It's sold off, it bounced. No clear trend as of now in the S&P 500. And then for those of you just joining, this is the first day in a hot minute that Captain Condor has returned. The call side, the call credit side of the Iron Condor is all the way up here at 5445. And then the put credit side is all the way down here at 5290. Obviously, I have those marked out 5290 down here. I think my head's blocking it, but and then up here, that might be a very solid target because the delta is going to get to 50 on those players. Remember, when you play an Iron Condor, you want it in between. They don't want it above. They don't want it below. They want it in between those bounds. That's where they get the most money. So that particular position will be feeling the heat when you start touching 5445. They don't want it above, or they would be feeling the heat if we start to drop below 5290. That's where they would be in a little bit of pain. I don't know if this is updating quite yet for me. Oh, I guess no, that's not right. Oh, it's because I didn't drag this all the way forward. Silly Matt. My bad. That's my fault. Okay. We are breaking out of this transition zone. If you decided to take that trade, I haven't yet because it's a little bit too early for me. Obviously, my first target, bull target number one, would be 5,400. Not only is that a key technical level, it's a key psychological level, and it's a key open interest level on various time frames. So I'd be watching that. It's about $1 above on the SPY. So we'd be talking about 538 and some change if you need that quick conversion. For those of you who are like maybe just need like some quick math to convert SPY to SPX or vice versa, $1 on the SPY is roughly about 10 points on SPX, roughly. I'm not saying that's an exact science or anything like that, but for those of you who just need to roughly know, roughly 10 points on SPX. So up here, we need to go about 13, which would be about $1 and some change. So it'd be bringing us roughly to about 538.50. Once again, not an exact science. They don't have that kind of a correlation, but just for some like just quick mental math, about 10 points on SPX is about roughly $1 on SPY. Cool. Palantir. Yeah, Palantir's been great, been really strong in all this. Bitcoin's even holding up. It's impressive. We see vol getting crushed. We see gold going up. Man, how are we actually looking relative to yesterday? So we're coming out of this transition zone. The bulls trying to gain a little bit of control. I would like this push and hold above 5,400. And I think the party would be on if we can take out this high that we saw at 120 yesterday. What was that? It was around 5,411. 5,411. Okay, well, as we're waiting for things to open up, I do want to remind you that Apex is running their best deal. The deal does not get better than this. This is the final day. Apex, you guys see me trading all the time here, and I'm more than happy to answer whatever your questions. It is 90% off and 1 day to pass. Right now, you can take the test for $16. The deal does not get better than this. So for any of those of you who want to load up on Apex accounts, or if you're thinking, okay, that's cool, and I'm just waiting for a cheaper time to like try this out, this is the time to do it. The deal does not get better than this. So I myself in the past day have already bought like 40 or 60 different accounts to just degenerately trade the eval to try to pass. And that's exactly how I so quickly got the 20 new PAs, because I was just trading a ton of them yesterday until I got them all passed. So this is proof to you in real time. These are all brand new accounts. I didn't have them yesterday. Obviously, watching yesterday's show and today's show, you guys know these are all brand new, which means, yes, I pass in 1 day. And fortunately for me, I was able to do it very, very cheaply. So that code GOONIE, use that code GOONIE. That is how you have to put it in to get the 90% off. So 90% off. This is the best deal Apex will run. 90% off, 1 day to pass. The test is only $16. So for any of you who's been on the fence, you're like, I want to try it out, but I don't want to like piss away that much money. It is just $16 to try the test. And remember, you are technically allowed up to 20 different PA accounts, and that's exactly why I run with all 20. So it is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Use that code Goonie to get 20% off and to be able to pass that test in one day. As we're waiting for the market to open, and please, folks, if you see me trading before 10 a.m. right now, today specifically, with my newest system in mind, please yell at me. So as we're burning some time to see how the market does or doesn't open up, are there any specific questions on SIM-to-funded trading? I know that there was some confusion yesterday, what it is, what it isn't, how it works. Do you make money? Do you not make money? Maybe specifics of the rules of the 30% consistency, the 5-to-1 risk to reward. Is there anything specific? Are there questions about like the best account size or anything like that? Like what's the major thing that like, I guess in general, I could potentially answer for you folks rather than getting confused and like reading up random things? We can't yell until you open up a phone line. I need to get that done. Which product do you use on Apex? So there's two things you have to decide. You have to decide your data provider and you have to decide your account size. So there's 3 different data providers. There's Wealth Charts, there is Rhythmic, and there's Tradeovate. Those are the data providers. And then when you select a data provider, then you have to select your account size. So Wealth Charts is brand new. To be completely honest, I don't know much about it. I don't know anything good or bad. I haven't heard anything, so I can't comment on it. So I'm not going to. Rhythmic is for you if you plan on exclusively trading on a PC, and it is slightly cheaper than Tradeovate. So if you're trading on a PC and only a PC, that is your option, and you're going to save a little bit of money. If you plan on trading on a Mac, or if you want to be able to check your positions or trade on your phone, Tradeovate is going to be your option. Tradeovate is for people who want to trade on a PC, a Mac, and their phone. It is a slight bit more expensive. And then Rhythmic is for people exclusively on a PC. Those are the difference between the data providers. And then from there, you're going to have the your account size. That's kind of up to you. The 2 most popular are the 50K and the 150K. And the reason those are the most 2 popular is because they have the best ratios between your profit goal and your trailing threshold. So those are by far the most 2 popular, the 50K, the 150K. I trade the 50K because that's what I like. But I do want you guys to know that the people who get those massive payouts, like the record-breaking payouts of like $2 million and stuff, from what I can understand, they're all in the 150K. So I would say those are your major 2 options of it. And it's basically up to you of like, how much do you want your threshold to like be? How many contracts you want to trade? I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's kind of up to you and your trading style and like how you want to approach it. But by far the 50K and the 150K are by far the 2 most popular. Good questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I found a long-term bag on PLTR. Okay, Palantir. I like it long-term as well. Is the price of the account 16 for life or the account? No, you pay 16 for the test. And that's technically the monthly fee, but you should be attempting to pass it within the month. So as soon as you either pass or fail, like it's kind of over. Either you pass it and you upgrade to the PA and you're not going to keep paying, or you have to reset it and you're going to pay another 16, especially if you do it quickly today because it's a cheaper offer. So you're not perpetually hit with that bill because the account is going to go one way or the other. It's either going to die because you failed the test or you're going to pass it and get upgraded to PA. But that individual test account, something's going to happen to it. So you're not perpetually there. The only way you would have to pay that fee time and time again is if you're trading it multiple months, which most people either pass or fail like literally within a day or 2. There's a monthly fee only if you're not trading. Like if you're trading okay, let me put it this way. On those test accounts, I've never paid the monthly fee more than once. I pay the fee to take the test, and technically it would lapse again if you keep the account alive, but it's never happened to me because most people are just trading. Like you're actively trading, and at some point within a month of trading, you either pass or you don't. So there is a theoretical chance where if the account is alive and you don't pass or fail, and you're kind of ping-ponging back and forth, that yes, you would pay that fee. And from that one, right now, the current deal is you'd pay $16 for the first month, and the next month it would go up to $33. But I want to be very clear, 99% of people do not get into that issue. 99% of people are trading within the day or 2. If you are profitable and have pulled out profits 3+ times, would it be acceptable to call yourself an apex predator? Can you use Apex Mobile if you use the Trade-Evade plan? That depends on the data provider. Once again, the data providers are Wealth Charts, Rhythmic, and Trade-Evade. Use the Trade-Evade option if you want to trade on a Mac or your phone, or I guess technically PC. But if you're just trading on a PC and want to save a little bit of money, that's the Rhythmic option. I use Rhythmic because I'm only trading on a PC. But if you want to be able to check it on your phone or trade on a Mac, you'd have to go the Trade-Evade option. Can you use Apex in Germany? To my understanding, yes, but I've never tried to use Apex in Germany, but it is international. Uh, 99% clap their first week. It's really not that hard to pass it. I have a video, you guys can watch it, of how to easily pass your test. If you buy one account and buy another account, you have one account go long, you have one account go short. You set up your ATM strategy so the order is already perfectly in of what you need before you actually get into the position. And right now in this high volatility environment, there's really good odds of going in one of those directions and you're getting your fill. That's exactly how I passed all of mine yesterday with no issue. Actually, it was kind of comedic because I passed 19 out of my 20, and then the 20th one took me forever to pass. But anyway, how did I pass it so quickly? Well, yeah, I just bought a bunch of accounts and I YOLO'd it. And right now you don't need it. When you're trading max contracts on the 50K account, you're allowed to trade 10 contracts. When you're trading 10 contracts, all you have to do is get 3K, which means per contract you only need 300, which is 15 points. Like it's really not that hard, especially in this volatility. The hard part is keeping your PA account alive and trading well with the PA account and following all the PA. The eval is not the tough part. The PA is the tough part. Where's the video? I want to watch it. Here, I'll find it. I'll put it in the description of the video for you guys. It's up on the other channel, but here, Velvet Kohrs. No, it's not Velvet Kohrs. It's, I think it's just called Matt Kohrs here. I'm trying to find the link for it. It's on the Evergreen channel, on both Rumble and on YouTube. Matt Kohrs. Hey, we just passed 1,000 subscribers. So it's this channel right here, Matt Kohrs Evergreen channel. So instead of like daily updates, it's more of just like I said, evergreen content. But you can see this video is actually getting pretty popular. How to pass Apex evaluation in 1 day, 2025 tips and guide. And this is where I just kind of document my trading journey. Like I said, it's more evergreen content rather than daily updates. If you're watching on Rumble right now, yes, we have all this content also on Rumble. But just because you guys are so nicely asking, I will put this in the description right now. Here, I'm going to put how to pass. I'm putting it in the description right now with the link. And it's right under the link to Apex. So if you want the link to this video, it's literally in the description of the video right now. Right now. All right, cool. We hit the first target, the first bullish target, obviously called out before the market opened. Like I said, this is the transition zone, the break of it leading us to our first target. My next watch would just be this technical high at 5,411. If we touch that, I would consider this to be a legit breakout. And then from there, I'd be looking for the market to go up to this 5-point region. So like I said, if we can get above this technical high that we saw at 120 yesterday, I'd be looking for that push of 5,411. From there, hopefully the break and hold. And then I would believe that that's starting up the test for basically the key technical level, key options level, and also now the key iron condor level from Captain Condor. So first target hit, I would say this is target 1.5 and then really target 2s all the way up here. So we are slowly but surely trending along. But anyway, if you want to know how to easily pass the Apex, and I highly recommend watching it because this deal is running for another 14 hours. So if you want to get in for dirt cheap, this is the time to definitely do it. Time to do it. It's in the description of the video. Sleepy Matt? No, sick Matt. I've been recently informed that I guess on the East Coast of the United States, pollen levels are currently at in absolute high. And I feel as if my face is getting fucked by flower sperm right now. And it really makes me reconsider if I should be signing up for that bukkake, but whatever. It's not a good situation, not a good pollen situation. Dude, the amount of Flonase, 1 squirt Flonase each day, dude, it is I'm half the liquid in my body right now is Flonase. It's not fun. It's not fun. My body is so I hope it's that. It's either that or I have the flu, but it's not been a hot couple days with whatever's going on. Matt's sick again. I don't think this one's sick. I think it is. I'm pretty sure this is just like some weird pollen allergy thing because I have like itchy eyes and shit. But I had terrible allergies for years and finally gave up and didn't take medicine for a year and went on walks and was no more allergies. I've been told that I should consume a lot of local honey is what people are kind of pitching to me of like, dude, you got to just like honey on everything. Honey, honey, honey. Get some local honey. I guess that is what the concept would be, like your local pollen and whatnot. I guess. I don't know. The market is nicely grinding to the upside, which I'm not complaining about because, like I said, everyone in the Discord knows that I've been swinging calls and I need a win here, man. I really do need a win. Oops, those are not doing what I need them to do. Where's the SPY at? 38. Well, I would love for us to take out yesterday's highs. That would make me feel very, very excited. Here, I'm going to set a quick alert for this high because that is legitimately a nice little 2-day intraday trend breakout type of a thing. So 5411, we did already hit my first bullish target after breaking out of this transition zone. So let's see if we could hold 5,400. We don't want this to be a fake out. I would say we have confirmation of this breakout if we can take out this high. Once again, just set an alert. For those of you who are like, Matt, show me the options flow. The Mag 7 option flow pumped until about 950, taking a little bit of a breather now, but not much of a breather. And then the S&P 500 seemingly pumped for the first, for 6 minutes between 940 and 946. Then it got hit, and now we're just kind of sideways. It's like kind of awkwardly deciding right on top of 5,400. So I'm not saying that I'm sold on this breakout. We've seen fake out breakouts as recently as yesterday. So let's pay attention to see if we kind of get that follow through that we would like. Some calls are flat. So puts were getting closed out. And then right as we hit 5,400, puts started to be purchased once again. That's those blue lines dipping. So for this trend to continue, you want that continuation of calls being bought and puts being sold. You want that delta to rip to the upside. On both, ideally, the S&P 500 and on the Mag 7. Just checking in on momentum. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour is bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour is bullish. I would say at this point if we had like a kind of a gradient, as of right now, we are cautiously bullish. I wouldn't be chasing it at the intraday high, which once again, as someone in chat pointed out yesterday, you were 100% right, of buying at the high. Like on any time frame, generally not a good idea. And that's actually when my strategy went long. And that's another tweak that I added to this system is don't take the trade if it's near the extreme of whatever time frame you're on. So obviously, if you're intraday trading, for me on my system, we were near the high. And even though it was a legit signal, that's, I guess, kind of like a false flag. So right here, even if you're bullish, I still wouldn't buy there just because you don't know if you're going to get rejected. If anything, you'd kind of want to see that pop and then the pullback and maybe some basing. But like buying at this moment, yeah, it is minimal risk, but you're also buying at the extreme of a day. So by definition, you're paying a premium because you are buying at the highest value of the day. And it might work out for you. And if you decide to trade it, I very much hope it does. But if you use that tactic time and time again, you might be in the situation that I was in yesterday, and I just got my face like just absolutely dominated by the market. But in terms of the Orbo breakout, yes, obviously the first 15 minutes have passed. So that means we got the first 15-minute Orbo. Here, I'll mark that out right there. We broke to the upside on both of these bad mamma jammas. Right here, this is here. I'll mark out the high and the low of the 15-minute Orbo opening range breakout breakdown. It's a very popular trading strategy. It's been used for a while. I wouldn't trade that strategy out of the gate. I would add on some filters of, once again, do you want to take it or not? But see right here, this was the 15-minute high. Both the SPY and the Qs broke above it, came down, retested, and popped, and that happened to perfectly align with, well, not perfectly, but pretty much aligned with this key level of 5,400. We're about to break out of that high from the midday yesterday around 120 or whatever, so we might be getting some action there. But anyway, yes, the If you don't know what the Orbo trade is, literally it's the first whatever time frame of the day. The first 10 minute, the first 15 minute, the first 30 minute. I would say the first 15, 30, and hour are the most popular. For whatever reason, the first hour is referred to as the initial balance, but it's the same thing. It's the high and the low of that first time frame bar. So it could be a minute, it could be 3 minutes, it's whatever Orbo you want. But I would say that the 15 minute, the 30 minute, and the 60 minute are the most popular. Obviously, we don't have the first 30 minute yet because we haven't been trading for 30 minutes. But as soon as we hit 10 a.m., then we'll know the first 30 minute high and low, which is the next Orbo that a lot of people like to pay attention to. Looks like SPX is officially getting that breakout from the high here. So I would say this is a successful break and hold of 5,400. So bullish target number 1 was hit. Bullish target 1.5 is now hit. I would say this is now setting us up for a test. Once again, obviously we have to hold. I would say in the middle of any of these ranges, it's no man's land. You guys know me. If you've seen any of these shows, we're just playing it from level to level to level. And at every level, you have the bull case and the bear case of the continuation or the reversal. So if we hold this, yeah, my bull case is up to here. If we get smacked, yeah, my bear case is back down to 5,400. We don't have to make it that difficult. If we are trending up, you have a target. If we're trending down, you have a target. At every moment in time, especially as an active trader, I strongly believe you should have a bull case and a bear case. And I think it's even more helpful to have them laid out and like lined up even beforehand, because then you don't have to try to figure it out when you're in the middle of a trade. So if you are bullish at this point, let's say you got in early, definitely, at least the way I view the market and whatever, I'm not your mom, not financial advice. If you took this early on, I would definitely at minimum have my stop set to break even. So it's a freebie play. And then if you want to ride it, yeah, I'd be looking all the way to up here. Don't be surprised if we get rejected on our first attempt. It is a very important level. And as you can see, obviously there's quite a bit. I mean, you can see this positive gamma like right there. That's a lot of sold calls. It's 10,000. So there's going to be a clear influence there. Now, I'm not saying that we can't break, but I'm saying it's going to be quite a bit of a struggle. If we do, awesome, then I'm going to be looking at yesterday's high, but this would very evidently be my target. Very evidently be my target. So let's just wait. Let's make sure that the options flow is as strong as we want it to be. The SPY kind of ripped again, pulling back a little bit right now. The Mag 7 ripping again. That's great. It's just 10 a.m., which does successfully mean that we have our first 30-minute. And as of right now, we already broke it. So both the 15-minute and the 30-minute Orbos broke to the upside. Obviously, that is a very bullish sign. Where are we? 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour. And then we also have, where is this? The S&P 500 clearly pushing to the upside. Mag 7 pushing to the upside. As of now, and who knows what the news is going to be, but as of now, clearly the bulls are in control. The bulls are in control there, Tonto. They are. What is today? The 24th. The 24th. All right. Hang on. All right. If you are in the Discord, Piper has officially fired. So I put that in there. Once again, if you're in the Discord, Piper just fired at 10 a.m. So that's in there. And we're going to see how this one plays out. Where are we at? Hey, one of my call options is green again. Hallelujah. At least I don't have to see such painful red. I'm really hoping we do get all the way back up to here. That would make my life a little, dude, this recent trading has been such a pain in the ass. SPY taking a little bit of a breather in terms of the delta. That is little head, shoulder, head, shoulder within the delta. More specifically, it is puts are completely flat. We have some profit taking in calls. What's interesting here is let me hide the puts. I think this is actually kind of useful. Well, okay. You guys know that the blue is puts. The dark blue is all duration puts. The light blue is the 0 DT puts. The orange is all duration calls. The green is 0 DT calls. What's interesting here is starting around 9:56. 0 DT calls have been flat. Like people aren't really getting into 0 DT calls, but they are getting into longer duration calls. So this is kind of backing up that recent trend that we've seen over the past 2 days, where we're seeing a clear structural, an attempt at a clear structural change from the bulls, where they're trying to get the option chain to be more call dominated. Not so much on the 0DT, which coming into today, it was already call dominated, but we are seeing people clearly open up. They're buying longer duration calls. And actually, literally, as I say that, someone just bought 0DT puts. Yeah, someone just smacked the delta a little bit right there, right at 10:02. But the Mag 7 popped. Look at that. As someone hit the SPY, the Mag 7 is catching a bullish swing, and we just got existing home sales. Existing home sales just dropped. The number is what? 4.02, and the expectation was 4.14. That just came out at 10 a.m. And on that, we're having a little bit of a hiccup. We kind of overshot that high that we saw yesterday on the SPY. We're pulling back a little bit, but fear not, because the Mag 7 is still very much legitimately holding strong. So I think this is going to be momentary. Maybe that's just like a little hiccup. Maybe I would like for the SPY to actually not look so sad. If the SPY picks up, I would like to maybe take that opportunity. Maybe. All right, I'm getting ready. It is past 10. We're at 10:04. Let's see if we could just do a classic technical breakout today in alignment with everything else. Let's see what we could possibly do today. If we go through our checklist of important information, we know momentum is bullish. The 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on ES and NQ, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are all on top of the EMAs. Momentum is bullish. Oh, shit, something just went crazy. All right, I made this mistake yesterday. News went crazy. I tried to play it one way. It went the other way. I got screwed. Nope, I'm going to learn my lesson. I only need to touch a hot oven about 19 times before I learn to not touch a hot oven. So I don't know what that was, but as you saw it on the screen, there was like a burst of trades. I don't know if it was news driven. Maybe it was options related. Let's pop it up, check it out. Mag 7 still pretty strong. S&P 500 did try to get going and then quit. So someone smacked the S&P 500 options right here. Someone sold a chunk of calls right at 10:05. Right at 10:05. I might have missed my opportunity. I don't want to chase it. Remember my new rule that I stated? Don't take the signal. It did signal on this breakout, but that literally we're at a new high, so I just have to wait. I have to be a bit more patient. Probably that trade would work. It looks like it's going to probably work pretty well. This pullback, I kind of wish I got in right at 10:04, but then there was that weird burst of trades, and I can't risk it. Can't risk it for said biscuit, but that's probably going to be a nice trade right in here. This pop, 10:04. It happened quick, though. It really did. We popped. We got the trend line breakout, nothing. And then here at 10:05, we got that continuation. So had I taken it 78, I'd be up about 10 points right now, and I could probably move my stop to somewhat close, or maybe I'd still be using 50. I don't know. But we're just climbing. I'm not feeling that much pressure because I do have exposure to this move already via my calls. So as we grind up, that's why I'm not feeling so like, oh, I got to capture this, because I already have money on the table that's benefiting from this move. So I just need to be not so spastic with my trades like I feel like I have been over the past couple of weeks, and just wait for that perfect opportunity. It'll come. There's a lot of moves in the markets these days. Lots of moves. All right. So we broke the 15-minute Orbo to the upside. We broke the 30-minute Orbo to the upside. And then the 60-minute Orbo, also referred to as the initial balance, Obviously, we'd have to wait to see the high and the low from 9:30 to 10:30, the first hour of the day. So we're just going to wait on that. But yes, things are clearly bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour all bullish. We're still in an inside day. We have not broken the high or the low of yesterday. We have the upside gap fill to 5572. We have the downside gap fill to 5309. So on the daily bar, we are an inside day, as in a non-trending day. Intraday setup is obviously trending. We pumped, we pulled back. We pumped, we pulled back. We pumped, we pulled back. Now the question is, are we getting ready to pump again? If this continues, I'm telling you, I don't see much in the way of stopping this market from hitting really Captain Condor and also just this key open interest level all the way up at 5450. It is very interesting to me. Whoa, the Mag 7's going, folks. Look at that delta move on the Mag 7. And now it's even going on the SPY too. Man, I feel, did I miss the ship today? Son of a gun. It's just like, that was such a little pullback. It was such a baby pullback that I tried to do something like that yesterday and it made me pay dearly. And then if I did it today, I would have been rewarded. So you just don't know. You never know what the next bar is going to be. Remember, like I said, it's a 50-50 situation. It's a 50-50 situation. I tried to take a little pullback and break out yesterday and I got absolutely smashed. If I took that little pullback and breakout today, as I kind of already had, it would have paid off nicely. I would have been in at 70. I'd be up $400. I'd be hoping for this continuation. So you just don't know. Some days doing the exact same thing can pay huge dividends, and other days it could blow out your account. Palantir is cracked. Palantir has been on a nice run. Palantir's up 4.4%. Tesla's up 2 Rum's up 3.7. Broadcom is up 3.9. What else do we have up? Microsoft's up 2. We have some nice gainers today. ASML. All right, we're seeing a clear push higher in some of these semiconductor names. ASML up 3%, NVIDIA up 2%, Broadcom up 3.9%. So semiconductors are having a pretty good day. Qualcomm is up 3.9%. So that's why tech is looking uniquely good, is because semiconductors are ripping. SPY's up 0.9%, while the Nasdaq's up 1.5%. So semiconductors are definitely pushing this world a little bit higher. XRP slightly red, Solana slightly red, Bitcoin slightly red, Texas Roadhouse is red, which is bullshit. Bullshit, if you ask me. Oil's at 63 right now. All right, we're maybe having a little bit of a breather here in price. Mag 7 finally taking a bit of a breather. Let's go to the 30-second just so you can see it a bit better. We pumped, we pulled back. We pumped, and we pulled back. Is this just a pullback ready to pop? The SPY getting hit a little bit harder. Man, what's really interesting is people were playing 0DT calls and both puts up until 9:46, and since then, nothing. What we've been seeing is at 9:53, people really started to buy longer duration calls. Right here at 9:53, that's exactly where this clear line switched from everything else. No one's really touching puts. No one's really touching 0DT calls, but man, oh man, are they interested in longer duration puts. And with respect to the Mag 7, just everything's ripping. Calls ripping, puts getting sold. A little bit of profit taking right now. Calls coming down, puts are flat. So we're seeing a baby amount of profit taking at this moment. Just a little bit of a retest of that 30-minute Orbo. See how this is why Orbos are important. This is definitely why you should get on Edgefold. The link was in yesterday's video's description. And remember, you could get a free 1-week trial. But right now, these lines are the first 30-minute bar high and low. Look at, we pumped to it, we pulled right back to it. We pumped above it, we pulled right back to it. If we can recover above it, that actually might be my entry. I'm kind of happy that, I mean, of course, would I have made money? Who knows? Maybe it was that I had that patience. Because if I was in here, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have gotten out, and maybe right now I'd be pissed off. And then so maybe it was good that I had that patience today, even though I was kind of whining about it. I was like, oh man, it's going without me. Did I miss it? But look at that. Sometimes a little bit of patience does pay in the market, because not only are we coming back to the 30-minute Orbo, but we're now, is this it? Because that's not bad risk at all. That is not bad risk. If this can actually follow through, I might have found my patience may have paid. Hang on. SPY Delta's still getting hit a little bit. See how we have a bit of this like broadening formation? You get some of these higher highs, but you're getting some of these lower lows. I'm curious which way this broadening formation is going to break. But I was really interested in taking this trade, and it would have been good for a second, but I don't know if I would have ever gotten out. And then would have come back, and who knows? Either I would have gotten out at break even, or I'd be complaining that I'm red, or I'd be praying that it bounces back. So maybe the algo does know something of like wait for a beat or two past the 10 a.m. hour, because we are seeing weird switches in the market, especially over the past couple weeks, right past 10, somewhere 10:02, 10:05, 10:07. We've been seeing so many shifts in the market. It's as if the market has multiple personalities throughout the day, and there's a personality shift seemingly. Do I want to take this? Do I want to take this? Am I being smart or stupid? This pullback. I mean, it is a pullback. I wasn't chasing to the high. Pop in the Mag 7. Pop in the SPY. I'll take a stab at it. I'll take a stab at it. I'll take a stab at it. I was patient, waited for the pullback, trading with trend, and now it's in the market god's hands. And now it's in the market god's hands. We'll see. I did everything I could. I waited. I tried to follow my rules. I tried to be as patient as I possibly could. And it actually paid off to be like wait for this pullback. I kind of got a better fill, and I didn't have to really sweat this. And now it's the question of, is the overall trend of the day going to continue, or are we actually seeing a trend reversal? But I'm happy I didn't chase the high. I'm happy that I had the patience to wait for exactly what I needed to wait for. And I'm happy that I also waited for the options market to show a little bit of a pop, because we were selling, and then we started to pop. The Mag 7 was selling, and now we're starting to pop again. So I'm basically just hoping that this is a pullback that I could just then play up to here. So happy I didn't really chase it, because that was too small of a pullback. It pumped, and then the market just gave me this opportunity, and we'll see. And if I'm wrong, obviously I'm just looking at this 10:03 low. So it's not really that complicated. Not that complicated. It's one of those weird situations where if it works out, everyone then just applauds you. Like, yeah, you had the patience. You waited for it perfectly. And then if it doesn't work out, everyone's like, why'd you do it? But that's trading. Folks, like I said, you have a 50-50 shot. All I could do is control my risk and my reward. And speaking of that, my reward is actually going to be much more than this. I'm throwing that up there for now, but you guys know that I'm just trying to do my risk check. People are calling for a reversal based on what? Abe, you're saying a reversal. What are you seeing in the market that makes you think there's a reversal? He just traded on undecided candles. That's smart. Undecided candles. That's probably the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Undecided candles. Dude, if you change the time frame, you're going to be seeing something different, and yet the price is still the same price. That's so silly. Undecided candles. I really don't like it when people have trading systems that based on just the time frame, you might be seeing something wildly different, as in bullish or bearish. Like right there, that argument of undecided candles. So what? If I just, the exact same price action, and then what? If I switch it to the minute chart, it's then decided. If I switch it to the 5-minute chart, even though it's the exact same price action, the fact that you could take away a different, I guess, synopsis of the situation by simply changing the time frame means that it's a weak system. It just means it's a legitimately weak system. Undecided candles coupled with negative sentiment in the market is bearish. Dude, I feel like sometimes I'm really just talking to a fucking wall of people, like people who are just so obviously novice to the market and novice to this situation. You're saying that there's bearish sentiment. I'm showing you the quantifiable thing that the options market is ripping higher. I'm showing you like the actual measurable thing that the options market is ripping higher. Now the trend, obviously it could change, but also the trend could continue. So like, that's so silly. It's so much of a Monday morning quarterbacking. So I just, you do not know where the market's going to go. Feeling a VWAP test. Wait, what does a feeling have to do with a trading strategy? I guess I'm trying to get people to think about this more empirically. Like, what kind of trading strategy is I'm feeling a VWAP test? Like, based on what? Like, what measurable information do you have right now, whether it's some sort of options flow, price momentum, or just statistical breakdown of the market that you're thinking, yeah, like, there is an actual measurable chance at a VWAP test beyond yeah, I'm just feeling it. It's just, I would push all of you guys to approach this much more empirically rather than gut feel, because right now you're feeling a VWAP test, or the other person an undecided candle. What the fuck is an undecided candle? Do you really think that profitable traders out there, whether on Wall Street or even in the retail space, are like, well, that's a fucking undecided candle? Like, what? It's just, folks, you have to attack this game with much more rigorous math. I feel like it seems as if there's quite a bit of gut feel situations. I'm doing just fine with the opposite of you're doing. How does that make sense? Like, I post my trades and I'm profitable on the year. So how does that make sense? How are you doing just fine if you do the opposite of me and yet I'm net profitable on the year? See, that's what's so interesting. Oh, wait, look it's undecided candles. Swamp Fox, is that an undecided candle? Novice, you lose more in a day than I've lost in a lifetime. I don't think you realize that that's a self-burn. I lose more in a day than you've lost in a lifetime. You realize that's a self-burn, right? As in, I have so much of an account that I have the ability to lose what you've lost in a lifetime, and yet I'm still here. I guess I'm talking with the genius. Like, you just literally severely burned yourself. Like, you're such a small time nothing trader that what I lose in a day is what you've lost in your lifetime. And you're trying to use that as like a burn to me. That's just crazy, dude. I know you guys yell at me for saying mean things, but I didn't say it. He said the meanest thing of the day, and it was against himself. Like, you guys can't even yell at me for burning people today, because that was literally a self-burn. I didn't say it. He said it, dude. He said it. Look at all those undecided candles. And, okay, from a teaching moment, instead of me just fucking dragging this dipshit through the mud, at the moment of that trade, I want to be fair that both of us had a 50-50 shot. Mr. fucking undecided candle, or me just saying, oh, there's a pullback with an overall trend. Maybe the trend will continue. I want to be clear, regardless of how this plays out, and I still don't know how it's going to play out. He doesn't know how it's going to play out. I don't know how it's going to play out. We both had a 50-50 shot. As I've been trying to explain to everyone, pretty much every single thing you are doing right now, you have a 50-50 shot, which means it just comes down to your risk management and your reward management. It comes down to your trade management in the situation. When I put on this trade right here, the next bar could have been a green God candle, and Mr. Dumb Fuck Undecided Candle would be like, I don't know, that's outside of my strategy. Or it could have been a red candle, and he would have been like, look, I said it was an undecided candle. I knew that was coming. My point is you just don't know. Right now, you have to be humble enough to appreciate the fact, especially as a day trader, right now when you put it on, you have a 50-50 shot. For you to be successful in a 50-50 shot situation, it's all about how good are you at protecting your risk. Whenever you're getting into this game, especially as a day trader, you are flipping a coin. 50-50, folks. So when people are trying to make these magical predictions of it's an undecided candle, it's a head and shoulder, it's a magic unicorn 4,000 market struck shifter with a Bulbasaur to kick. Oh my God, it's a Mewtwo. Cool. Cool. Fucking cool. That's sick. You caught a Mewtwo in the wild. I don't know what the fuck that means for the market. Folks, when you dive into the statistics of the market, you're going to realize it's pretty much as normally distributed as anything could ever be, as in it's 50-50. For you to be ahead in this game, it's keep your risk low and keep your reward high, and you do that time and time again. One of the common Achilles heels of a retail trader is that when they're wrong, they let their losses balloon and they refuse to admit they're long. Like that's it. That's the issue. It's not some dumb fucking understanding of undecided candles. It's an undecided candle. Father, the prophecy has told us that the undecided candle would come before the 14th full moon. The undecided candles are here. We have to alert the British. Father, put a light in the lighthouse. We have to alert the Navy. The undecided candles are here. What will we do? What will we do? Fucking what? Like, people love to complicate this shit. They fucking love to make it seem so like, oh, fucking, this is my model, undecided candles. Like, oh, look at this. Oh, that's a sad candle. This patch of candles is referred to as a jubilee of candles. That's actually, you guys didn't know this, but 5 green candles in a row, it's called a jubilee. And by the time you get to 7, it's called a Coke party. You guys probably didn't know that. And when you get to 12, it's a bukkake. So it gets wild out there. But that's common candle-based trading. And a lot of people aren't going to teach you it because, like, as soon as they figure it out, they're greedy and they want all the money themselves. So I'm willing to tell you guys the truth. A jubilee of candles can transform into a Coke party, and by the time you get to 12 or more, it's crazy. It gets crazy out there. I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm waiting for the first decision candle. Like, goddamn. Jubilee or Jubelly? A jubilee. I don't know what a Jubelly is, but before you guys know it, you're going to get me fucking canceled for being anti-Semitic. By the time you get 20 green candles, as long as they're in the afternoon, it is an official Jubelly. Jesus. All candles are undecided until they decide. That's a great point. That's very prophetic. It is. It reminds me of my favorite saying in the world of trading is, you got to get a little lost to get a little found. You really do. You got to get a little lost to get a little found. What are we doing? What in the world are we doing? That's some indecision there. Some people would just call it a local high, but not here. Not here in the real secrets of trading. Here, that's not a local high. That's not profit taking. That's indecision. Doesn't know what the hell it wants to do. These candles need to come out of the closet and make a goddamn decision. Wild what people will believe in this game of trading. And what's more insane is they'll believe it in the face of like them losing money too. It's like, no. Like, it's one thing to hold a hardcore thought about the market, like just like you're like, nope, I believe it and I refuse to not believe it. If you're making money, but when you have a person who apparently loses in their lifetime what I lose in a day, like they could continually lose money and then yet they'll still hold their thoughts as if like, no, I'm so right. I truly believe. Not to get even more philosophical with you guys. I know we've already talked about the deep secrets of trading here. Hang on 1 second. I just want to check this. Okay, we still have some room to go. We still have for the next resistance. Like I said, I'm looking all the way up here, and when we're in the middle, to me that's an undecided zone, which is not to get confused with undecided candles. Where was I? Oh. I think one of the hardest aspects of trading of why so many people fail is because the best traders, and you've heard this before, but it's just so incredibly spot on. The best traders are the best losers. At no point in life do humans like to admit they were wrong. Whether you don't do well on a school test, whether you have to admit you were wrong to your spouse, your significant other, or at your job, no one likes it. There's a clear emotional, like brain chemistry, negative feedback. When you know you're wrong, you have to admit you're wrong. Obviously, I don't know this. It's not like I've studied evolution, but I would assume that there's some sort of evolutionary feedback where we are just like really against saying, yes, I was wrong. It is painful to say like, just, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I got this one wrong. And I think that is part of the reason why trading is so difficult. It is really, really difficult to admit you're wrong. And then when you mix that common tendency of humans with the psychology that most people have who are attracted to the markets, I think we're now getting at the largest possible difference. Because generally to get involved in the market, like there's something going on, whether with your aptitude, your desire for competitiveness, of your ego, your hubris, like whatever it is. I think that the people who are most attracted to actual trading are the farthest away from like being able to internalize that and be like, yep, dude, I'm just wrong. And that's what's so interesting about trading is the best people. Yes, they have that ego, that hubris, like this like high end, almost professional level desire for competition. And yet you have to be that person, but then simultaneously almost on the other side of the psychological spectrum where you're like, yep, I was wrong. And you move on. Wrong. And I think that's tough. Like obviously on a personal level, like I have a tough time like admitting I'm wrong in many aspects of my life. But I think if we all like really thought about it, not only would we better off in training, but probably like life in general. Like it's such a paradoxical thing of the people who like trading are the least likely to be able to willingly admit that they're wrong. And yet to be successful in this game that we're all inherently attracted to, you have to be the first person willing to step up and admit you're wrong. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. Admitting you're wrong can feel like admitting you are flawed, and that threatens your self-image. Dude, power keg. He's setting off a power keg in my brain right now. That's some deep shit right there. Admitting you're wrong can feel like admitting you are flawed, and that threatens your self-image. God damn, get this guy a beer. Powder keg already fucking ripping a J this morning. He's getting real deep on us. That's profound. Yeah, maybe he should be the host of this show. If you have a candle in a box, is it lit or unlit? How do you know? Pandora candles. It'll never understand trading. Pandora candles. I think you mean Schrodinger's candles. Pandora, slightly different, but they both have boxes. They both have boxes for sure. All right. It would be silly for me to not make money on this trade. Or should I just cut it early today? What am I even doing? I'm just up money and I have no goal. Like an amoeba, I'm just kind of like a plankton. I'm just kind of going with the flow today. And that is not necessarily so good when you have to realize that I'm dealing with the unrealized drawdown. Oh, should I be a plankton and go with the flow? Or should I be a swordfish and just completely impale a local scuba diver? Has that ever happened? I know we're getting off the point of this show. Has a swordfish ever killed a person? Is that like a thing? Does anyone know? Do we have any swordfish experts in here? He who bets on undecided candles lose in the market. How come the ES shows differently value both to S&P 500, SPX? My ES says 5467. Am I stupid? No, because they're independent contracts. The ES is the S&P 500 contract on the futures market. SPY is the S&P 500 in equities market. It's an ETF. And then SPX is the actual S&P 500. So both SPY and ES are a derivative, effectively, of the S&P 500. And SPX is the actual S&P 500. You're not stupid. That's a good question. I died by swordfish once. It was horrible. Fucking pour one out for Drew. Pour one out for Drew. One of our own community members was killed by a swordfish, and he said it was painful. A surfer was killed by a swordfish. Damn. This is why you should never swim with swords. Same generic rules, like you should never swim within 45 minutes of eating, especially if you have a sword. Especially. Stingray got Steve. Yeah, dude. To this day, I hate stingrays because of that. Move stop. Yeah, I should. I just don't know what level I want to put it at. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to lose money. That would be silly. But I have to be... The first day you're trading it, when you're really worrying about the difference between your realized gain and your unrealized gain, it's a strange day because, okay, I could get out here and basically it would look like a static loss, but I'm actually screwing myself over because then I'm really $75 in the hole from where I would blow these accounts out. So as long as you're below that 2.5K line, it's actually really difficult. Really difficult. Hang on. I need to do some math here. 175, 225. So the most I could go for today is this. I'm not saying that's my profit target. I just wanted to do the quick math of what I could actually make today. Actually, technically 226. But so you have two options. You either want to keep your stop like pretty far away and not get knocked and basically saying I'm either going to hit my profit or I'm not, because you want your realized profit to be very close to your unrealized high. So one way you could do that is basically you could set your profit target close and like whatever, when it hits it, ideally it does hit it, you hit it and cool. Your realized profit is your unrealized. Or you're like, but if it's far away and like maybe the price action is dancing around, you don't necessarily want to get like kind of unfortunately knocked out. And it's kind of weird because I have found that with these accounts, when your realized profit is within the buffer of the accounts, you kind of have to trade it differently. Now, of course, when your realized profit is above the buffer, well, then you can be smart and just like, nope, I'm going to have a static drawdown and like whatever. If it hits it, it hits it. But when you're still within that buffer zone, which I am because these accounts are brand new and my buffer is 2.5K, that's the buffer on $50,000 accounts, you have to kind of trade it a little bit strangely. Hey, Matt, is there a daily profit limit on Apex, like a percentage? No. The profit target is something that I put on myself because of their 30% consistency rule. That's one rule that confuses a lot of people on Apex, but the rule goes this way. No individual trading session can account for more than 30% of your total profit. So let's say you trade X amount of days, and in those X amount of days, your total profit over all those days is 10K. That means that no individual day can account for more than $3,000 because 30%. So that's the 30% consistency rule. No individual day can be more than 30% of your total net profit. So for me, my goal is to have at least a 10K buffer, as in $10,000 in profit, which is why I cap myself at $3,000 per day, because I don't want to exceed that 30% rule. And the number that I'm basing my 30% off of is what I want my personal buffer to be, because when I'm at 10K in profit, I can kind of trade my system a little bit more reasonably at 10K. And it's also a 20% drawdown, which once again is just a little bit more reasonable. So once again, the profit max is not a rule from Apex, but they do have a 30% consistency. And the reason they have that rule is because they don't want you to be like just degenerately trading, as in I'm going max contracts long, max contracts short, and in one day you make 50 grand and then no other days you make money. It's called a consistency rule because they want you to prove that you could actually be consistent. So that's just the math of how I did it. But maybe you're a trader, you're like, no, I just want 5K of profit. Well, if you're going for 5K, okay, you would do 30% of that. And so I just use $10,000 as my benchmark, but obviously you should use whatever number you think is most appropriate. How much as impossible on the first day? Once again, it doesn't matter the first day, the second day, or the third. It doesn't matter the day number. It matters how much is your largest individual trading session gain versus your total net profit. It does not matter your first day, your second day, your eighth day. No individual trading session can account for more than 30% of your total net profit. I am looking for a total net profit of 10K, which is why I base my max individual day profit as 30% of 10K is 3. It doesn't matter if it's day 1 or day 18. They also have a 30% one loss rule. Yeah, I kind of don't give a shit about that rule. It does go up to 50% as soon as I believe you hit 5K or 5.5. But that has something to do with your unrealized drawdown on an individual trade. At no individual trade can have an unrealized drawdown. One individual trade can have an unrealized drawdown greater than 30% of your total net profit. And if you're just starting out, that net profit's actually based on your buffer. But as soon as you hit 5K, it goes up to 50%. I find that I don't really fall into that rule or that issue anyway. It is a rule and it's something you have to consider. But if you break it, they just make you trade for another 8 days and it's no big deal. So if you break any of these rules, I should be clear, if you break any of these rules, you don't blow out your accounts. You don't lose your money. I want to be very, very clear about that. You do not lose your money. They make you just keep trading for you to actually get approved for a payout. So if you violate these rules, it's not like you have that far to fall, is what I'm saying. All they say is, no, we're not paying you out right now. Just trade for another 8 days and then come back to us in 8 days. Oh shit. Oh, whoa, wait, hang on. Someone said, I didn't realize we were at my profit target. Shit. Oh, we might be turning here. Should I take my profit? We're hitting my target. Like I said, I mean, folks, I called these numbers out to you before the market even opened. Bull target number 1, 1.5, target number 2, and then target number 3 is yesterday's high. This is where Captain Condor is structured. Right, like literally that exact value we hit is where Captain Condor is. Exactly where Captain Condor is. Oh, how do I want to handle this? Do I think that the question is how severe is the pullback going to be? Once again, coming back to this difference between realized and unrealized. Come on. I really thought we would be a bit higher on NQ by the time SPX hit that. I thought we would be all the way up here at 200. I fully understand why we're taking a little bit of a hit right now. Obviously, all the people who had long calls, the delta is now 50-50. They hit it. They're in the money. They're going to take profits. We have the natural gamma and delta influence of that, the call side, the call credit spread of the Captain Condor. If we can bounce right back up to 70, I might move my stop all the way up to here and play it pretty tight. We just dipped down to 43. Like I said, if we can kind of just get back up to this zone, and then I'll shoot my all the way up here. But it just kind of comes down to the market right now and other participants of how many profit takers are there. If we don't have that many profit takers, I'll be golden. But you just don't know. Like, all I can tell you is when you come to key levels, you're at a key level. There's no model I know of that tells you the odds of a breakout or breakdown. All I can tell you is when you get to an important zone, you gotta pay attention. You might break, you might bounce, you might trend. All I can say is this is an important area, which is exactly why we ripped all the way to it. And then this is the first point that we slowed down, because it's that important of an open interest level. Speaking of that, here's a look at the Mag 7. Taking a bit of a breather once again as soon as we hit that level. Same thing with the SPY. As soon as we hit it, we're taking a little bit of a breather. You have these calls getting locked in and people are buying puts. It makes sense. The people who are riding calls, their delta is now 50 and they're in the money. Cool. They're going to lock in their profits. It's also just a key level. And it also makes sense that people are buying puts because you're at key resistance. So if you get rejected, okay, you get to ride it all the way down. And if you're wrong, your risk is that recent high. So like, it completely makes sense of what we're seeing right now. And I'm just trying to hope that I'm on the right side of it and it's actually a breakout rather than a rejection. But if it starts to go against me, I'm going to close this out relatively quickly. Come on. I would love for this just to be a hole, because then I can move my risk all the way up here. I just want to see this breakout. I just want to see us take out 61 and then 80. I really thought the rough equivalent on NQ by the time SPX was hitting 5450 was going to be all the way up at 200. And that's something that I could have easily like used as my major level. But unfortunately, we were about 20 points shy. I just didn't expect that much enthusiasm so quickly in the overall market. Yeah, now we're starting to take a bit of a breather. Oh, and also simultaneously, the Qs are running into their high from yesterday. Oh, how much of a pullback can I possibly stand? See, I would be playing this very, very differently if I already had the buffer. But since this is day one, I don't really have the buffer, which is the pain. Like it kind of makes you take on a little bit more risk and just pray that it like does keep going. Like I said, I'd be a bit more aggressive. I think if I already had a larger buffer, I'd probably be already taking my profits right now. But once again, the reasoning of why I'm not is because right now, if I were to take these profits, the difference between my realized gain and my unrealized high would be a difference of $600. So instead of having a 2.5K buffer, I'd only have a 1.9K buffer. So that the issue is taking profits here is obviously the differential. So you might be saying, well, if it comes down more, the differential is going to get worse. Yeah, and you're 100% true. But on the other side, if we just keep going, well, then I might be able to clean up my entire buffer issue. So it's a risk. It's definitely a risk. Yeah, a little bit of a breather. Shoot. How much of a breather? And of course, fuck, it's starting to get a little haywire on me over here. Vol's picking up. Awkward 1043 vol expansion. No. Much more than the profit when you're first building this out, and anyone who's traded on Apex, like, you know, your first couple days, it's much more focused on like that differential, like how much buffer do you actually have, which like, I know this is good money. Like that does not escape me. The issue here, the very obvious issue here is the differential between the unrealized high and the current realized profit, which it honestly is the most painful part of trading these, because I think at least for me in my trading style, it kind of forces you to trade in a way that you wouldn't. As I said, my stop would have been there had I had the static, and I would have locked that money in and I would have moved on with my life. And now it's just a game of, can I get lucky? Can we get a follow through instead of a rejection? Basically, I need this trend line to not only break out, I need it to do it like soon. Very, very soon. Come on. Come on. Can he get lucky? Can I get lucky? Boeing should default on China not taking place. Oh, Trump is talking right now. So of course, not only am I in this environment where like volatility is already high, but it's happening as Trump is actively talking. Come on, dude. It's just like, I've been on such a streak of just like the most dog shit luck. Oh, so frustrating. The most dog shit luck. Yeah, because even now, if I were to take these profits right now, my unrealized high is all the way up here at 80. It's trading at 20. That's a difference of 60 points. So instead of having a 2.5K buffer, I would have a 1.3K buffer. Like I ate into my buffer by half the distance, which is obviously really difficult to manage. Fuck, dude. Oh, dude, the buffer build out it's just the most mentally taxing, excruciating bullshit. Basically, even though this looks way better than it is, like you guys might be seeing it and being like, especially if you're not the most familiar with the rules of how this stuff works, you might be seeing this and be like, wait, why is he like upset? Like what's going on? He's up 20 grand. This is actually like a far worse situation than it actually appears in terms of profit. It's a far, far worse situation. Trust me. It's actually looking really, really bad for me. I need this trend line to break and hold. I can't have it come below this. Like, I know this looks good, but just because of the fact that my accounts are new, it's actually not good. Trump is tweeting. He's on Truth Social. Oh, of course, he's sending the market fucking haywire. He said Boeing should default China for not taking the beautifully finished planes that China committed to the purchase. This is just a small example of what China has done to the USA for years. And by the way, fentanyl continues to pour into our country from China through Mexico and Canada, killing hundreds of thousands of our people, and better stop now. Dude, fuck, he's fucking me again. Dude, I can't take it with these, like, all these political announcements that just, like, they send the market absolutely haywire. It's just not an enjoyable time to trade or engage with the market. It really isn't. Move your stop loss up. Dude, you don't get it. I think some of you get it, but once the stop loss thing, you're not understanding the rules of Apex and the difference between the unrealized and the realized. Like, you're just not I don't know how else to say it. I've tried to explain it a gazillion different times. Some people are going to get it and some people aren't, but Little Smelly Nuts, which is a hilarious name. I don't think you're understanding this situation whatsoever. Fucking Trump. God damn it. Matt, everyone's saying get out. You don't understand the rules that this isn't just the number. You guys are so incredibly fixated on the profit number, not understanding the rules of Apex. This is, you guys just don't get the buffer rules. I think some of you are getting it and you know exactly what's going on right now. But for the people who are saying just take the money, you don't understand. Like, the buffer is based off of your unrealized high, not your actual number. And for all the people saying, like, hey, like, just take, like, you just don't get it. And this is it. If you would be 100% right in what you are saying, if I was above the buffer amount, which is 2.5K, if I came into today and my realized value in my account was 2.5K profit or more, then you would be 100% correct and you could have that static drawdown. But when you are within that buffer range, you unfortunately can't trade that way. It's so like, and I know it's confusing and it probably sounds crazy if you've never traded this or had to deal with it. But for everyone who does, you obviously know what I'm currently dealing with. So for everyone saying like, oh, you should have taken your money and like had that stop on the breakdown. Yes, you are 100% right. In the event that I didn't have to worry about this buffer issue. So you would be 100% right if my account was already above 2.5K, but it wasn't already above 2.5K, which is why I'm in the situation that like I'm in right now. So from a pure tactical trading standpoint, you are 100% correct. You are not correct when considering not only the accounts that I'm trading, but the stage of the accounts that I'm currently trading. Try to lose money on purpose again. That was a crazy day. Someone said Trump's talking at noon. Is that true? Trump equals new Jerome Powell. Good afternoon. What? Trump equals new Jerome Powell? What are you talking about? Matt, do you have any advice on building out the buffer on these new accounts? Yeah, you either have to go like for a big swing and get lucky, or you have to go slow and really measured, like whatever, maybe like I'm just using this as an example, but like a $200 profit, 200, as in you have a set profit and you're not doing this big trend following thing. It's when you are first building out these accounts, it's really difficult to do trend following, as in you have to just get lucky and catch a big trend. Because if you catch a trend and then it starts to turn against you, the way mine was, it could eat into all that buffer. So the way to battle that at first is, if you don't want to quote unquote go for the lucky route, is to do small measured targets and do that until you build out the buffer. So that is a way that your realized and your unrealized are pretty much always the same, like $200 profit, 200, and you do that 10, and then before you know it, you're good. This market seems pretty shitty for Apex rules. No, it's high octane for Apex rules. You could get lucky because it moves so much. You might be able to get your profit like right away and like, cool, you don't worry about your buffer, or if it goes against you. So it makes it, I guess maybe the best way to say it is it makes it so there's more luck involved. The president participates. What was that? Someone said the president participates in a bilateral. 1:05 p.m. The president participates in bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister in Kingdom of Norway, Oval Office, White House press conference. So that's at 1:05. This right after lunch. Well, it got a little bit of a bounce back, but we're running into a bit of an issue. If this gets tilted over, I might get fucked here. Don't tilt. Come on. So obviously, it goes without saying that I am going for more of that lucky path of hoping that we get a big enough trend that I could fill out my buffer. I was considering taking it off at 200 as like a measured profit target. We just obviously never got there. We got to 80. So I'd be kicking myself a little bit if we tagged 200 and it just didn't like go for me. But I guess whatever Trump's commentary on Boeing in China is screwing me a little bit right now. And I'm not liking this structure at all. We sold, we popped, we very easily could be putting in a lower high right now. I'm not liking it. I very much wish I had that static buffer and this breakdown here at 1043, 1044. I would have been saying peace, thank you. And I would have moved on. But once again, it's just my accounts are not at that state to be able to trade right now, unfortunately. But right here, I can pinpoint it. Literally, this breakdown candle at 1043.24 would have knocked me out. I would have been using this wick on this breakdown in these two bars. I would have been out roughly around 41, and I would have taken my 65 points, my 20K in profits, and I would have moved on with my life. But I can't do it. And as much as this looks green and this looks good, it's actually not. This is actually the fact that I went up so much and it pulled back so much is actually very, very detrimental. So I'm at the point of just seeing if I can get lucky. And maybe this is we definitely have lower highs. Here's a high, here's a high, here's a high. So that's not good. The price structure is trending against me, but I'm hoping that maybe the sellers who came in here between 1039 and 1045 stop, and we can make this base. Basically, I'm just hoping that this 1048 low is another higher low and we start to push to a new intraday high. That's where I would have a fighting chance. And that's where maybe I could reconsider okay, do I just want a measured target? So basically you have a trailing drawdown. It's not basically, that's literally exactly what you have right here. Trailing threshold, 2.5K. The issue is that the trailing threshold is based off of your unrealized high, not necessarily your realized high. If your unrealized high and your realized high are the same number, yeah, that's what it's based off of. But for a lot of people, especially as a trend following trader, your unrealized high could be higher than your realized high because you were waiting to see if the trend was breaking down. So inherently you didn't get out at that perfect top value. But it's not basically, that's literally exactly what it is. So basically right now, my buffer amount is being based on if I got out at this perfect high value all the way up here at 19,180. So it's saying, oh, okay, he didn't get out at the perfect value. So it's eating into this differential from wherever I get out based on this high value. I'm losing that much amount of buffer. To clarify though, that only matters when you're still within the buffer range. And right now in a 50K account, your buffer is the 2.5K. To know what your buffer amount is, you just come to the website right here, 2.5. So as long as I'm within the 2.5, that matters. As soon as you're above the 2.5, it no longer matters. So it's something you have to battle with at first, and it's not like a perpetual thing. Can't believe they count unrealized. Well, they do it because they want people to blow out, obviously. Clearly, that's why they do it, is because you're trying to take their money, they're trying to take your money. Is that same for take profit trader? It is. But once again, it only matters when you're in the buffer zone, and as soon as you're out of it, it no longer matters. No longer matters. My bot would be firing again on a cross of 50 if I were trading, if I were just trading multiple times, once again, not worrying about the buffer and everything. My bot would once again be going long on a cross and a hold of 19,150 for anyone who cares. 60. But if we clear 60, that's not so bad. That's only a 20-point differential, which is $400. That's something I could work with. If I'm fortunate enough that the market starts to push 60, that's a differential, a delta between the realized and unrealized that I could probably work with. So this one's a little bit much. That's $600. That's $1,900, which isn't bad. I like it. If my difference is within $500, mentally, I feel like I could work with that. So above 50, above 60, that's at the point where maybe I just have a really, really tight stop loss. But I would love for us to take out, we took out this high, which was nice. Here, I want to visually see where some of these highs are. Obviously trending down, 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 lower highs. Then we put in a higher low, inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. Broke the trend line, trying to break to the upside. We took out the high at 1044. I would love to take out this high at 1041. Market got a little wonky here at 1043 to 1044, reacting to a True Social update from Trump. And he's still going, apparently. Trump expected to sign executive orders on Thursday to advance the deep sea mining industry. Okay. If you say so. If you say so. Nope. Having a tough time at 50. Having a tough time at 50. All right, let's double check. So we pumped, we pulled back. The question is are we going to make a fresh high? So A, B, C, is the D going to be a fresh high? And then A, a little bit of a dance, B, C, the same thing. Is this next push going to take out the intraday high? That's the golden question. And it kind of determines if I'm blowing out my accounts or not today. It kind of determines it. All right, we don't need this. Here's the options flow. Let's check that. Mag 7 is now flat. That does not make me feel good. The SPY took a hit, bounced, took another hit, tried to bounce, but not like, see how all that excitement, all that energy kind of stopped at 1038. Same thing on the Mag 7. Something switched at 1038, which is telling me that I'm playing with fire right now. This is not making me feel so good. We ran right into this key level, got smacked, tried to bounce, but on this bounce attempt, the options mark, I mean, you could clearly see it. Mag 7 is flat and the SPY is now flat. It's just more of these darn undecided candles. What are we doing? Oh, okay. So another option, I could just take this money and just try to deal with this delta difference, which it's not good, but it's not bad. Like it's a bit more than I like to deal with. I feel like if the delta is $500, that's fine. And I could deal with that because whatever, a 2K buffer versus a 2.5, it's not the end of the world. But right now it's more of like an $1,800 difference. It's just eating into the buffer, man. And in this environment, like the buffer itself already to begin with is pretty small. And now, like if I were to get out right now, it would make the buffer that much smaller. Fuck. It's basically how lucky do I feel? Do I think that this little range is going to break to the upside or break to the downside? Which way? I do have one tool I could check for momentum. That is bullish. It's actually noteworthy bullish. I do have on my lucky shirt as well. But even though my lucky shirt's been on, I've been pretty unlucky for about a couple weeks now. Just to be clear, there were never no undecided candles. We had that nice pop, stalled out at 10:56, 11:01. I was about to say I'm nervous about a new hour, but 11 just hit and we didn't see any craziness quite yet. I say, knock on wood. Well, I wouldn't mind craziness. I just want the craziness to be to the upside. If we get into this little rectangle right here between 60 and 80, that's back to the point where maybe I should consider a super tight stop. It's just like, which way is it going to, it just doesn't know which way it's going to break. Undecided. Yeah, totally undecided candles. It's not like we have the word range bound or anything, but they're undecided candles. They're questioning. They're sexually fluid candles. Mag 7 took a little bit of a hit. Tiny. SPY's actually trying to pick up a little bit. SPY's chilling at 4. If it can hold 440, I'm not liking that dip at all. We got all the way down to 430. Ugh, is this just going to be a lower high? If it is, that is not so bueno. Here, I'm going to set an alert on that trend line. I would love to hear this alert go off. Just break the trend line, pump all the way up here. Dude, even if it's dancing around at 50, like why can't we just be indecisive up here? Why do we have to be indecisive 10 plus points lower? Yeah, calls are getting hit. Calls are starting to drop. These pussies are getting out of their call position way too early. We have some paper hands going on in the call side of the options market right now, which is causing a bit of a problem for me. Dude, this delta is fucking me. What do I want to do? If I get out now, I lose half my buffer, but the accounts are alive. So it's such a weird risk reward decision. I can guarantee the accounts live, but then the chance of their survival is low because I have so much less buffer. On the other side, I can give this particular trade a chance to breathe, but if it goes that much farther against me, they're gone. But then if it pops, cool, I max out my buffer and I'm good to go. Oh. I need a breakdown on ES. Well, I hope you are 100% wrong. I would very much prefer my trade works than yours. Very much prefer that you get blown out rather than me getting blown out. Hey, green paper is still green paper. No, it's not. Once again, this is a very unique problem specific to sim-to-funded trading. It's very specific to Apex. If I get out right now, it's actually not good. I know it seems crazy, but if I take this $20,000 right now, it would actually be problematic for the survival of these accounts. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you've done this sim-to-funded trading, you would know the exact issue that I'm dealing with. Speaking of that, don't forget, this deal ends today. This is tied with their best deal that they ever run, 90% off. If you want Apex accounts, this is the time to load up. If you don't have all of yours maxed out, this is the time to do it. Which way are we breaking, up or down? Oh, up, sick. And if you're like, hey, I want to try that out and you were just waiting for it to be cheaper, this is the time to do it, folks. This is the day. You have 14 hours left, less than one entire day. This is the time. If you want to trade with other people's money, I'm trading with $1 million of capital. I have 20 different accounts, 50K each. And yeah, I'm up currently 30K. But if you were looking for something, this is the time to do it. 90% off. Just make sure to use that code Goonie. If you don't use code Goonie, you're not going to get the discount. Goonie, Goonie. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Use that link. When you're checking out, there's a coupon section. Make sure you put in Goonie. All right, now we're in that zone where maybe I should be thinking about it. We are in that zone. So now the differential between my potential realized and the max unrealized is not that bad. Because like I said, it doesn't matter past 2.5K. Remember, it does not matter past 2.5. And we're getting, and how much was that? That was actually 2. If it goes all the way back up to the intraday high, we're at 2,000, which means I only need it up to, like I said, pretty much 200, and that is the buffer fill out. What is something had to come across the line? ECB to consider changing strategy to enable more nimble moves. ECB review to find that all tools remain appropriate. Oh, interesting. Almost going for this intraday high. Let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm setting an alert for an intraday high. Hopefully this is not a double top, but you never know until afterwards. You never know till it's done. Hindsight bias, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on the S&P 500 futures contract, bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on the NASDAQ futures contract, all bullish. The daily chart, we're still within the high and the low of yesterday. We're back in this zone here. I could show you better on the 10-minute. Obviously, we got that trend line breakout. Here's how things are currently looking. I laid this all out before the market opened. We opened up right at the top of the transition zone, pushed and hit the bullish target number 1. We held that, hit bullish target 1.5, just a little bit of a high from me yesterday. Then we pushed all the way up to my secondary target, and that's where we first got a little bit of heat. Makes sense. You're going to have bear step in because it's a low risk short, and you're going to have bulls taking their profit because it's just a key level that we see a lot of options positioning at. And I would love a breakthrough. If the bulls show up here, then I'm looking at yesterday's high, 546.70. That is the high that we saw at 10 a.m. yesterday. Can this follow through? That is the golden question. We pumped. We pulled back. A, B, C, potentially D. This is a higher low. The structure is bullish. You can see it better on the 1 minute. The question is do we have enough to actually get through here? Because you could see on the trace tool, let me update this so you can see it. There is a lot of action. That's all 0 DTE calls. This is a giant call credit spread. 10,000 contracts are live at this level. 5445 by 5450. These players, it's a group of players, they want the market to conclude today below 54450. I obviously wanted to push above 54450. So this player is currently being tested, but you can see it adds quite a bit of positive gamma to the map. So it is influential from a market maker standpoint. It does impact how they have to hedge it out because remember, they're in this call credit spread, but for them to get into the call credit spread, someone had to buy it off of them. They sold a call credit spread. The market makers bought it, which means that they have to now hedge their book differently as we are in this zone. So we're waiting. We're dancing at this high. Will the breakout happen? Your guess is as good as mine. I wonder if I should move my stop all the way up here and just play it with really, really tight risk. So if it breaks down, at least my difference from my unrealized max to my realized isn't that bad. We're almost at a new value. It looks like me taking a little bit of a risk paid off. Ninja Trader seems to be real finicky with stuff sometimes. It's more of the data providers, probably Rhythmic or Trade Remember, Ninja Trader is just the charting, whatever. It's not if you're using Apex stuff, it's not the data provider. Is that one guy still in here? Swamp Fox is still here. Yo, how's our undecided candle guy doing? You know, the guy who's trying to brag of how he makes money by doing the opposite of me, even though I'm net ahead. Swamp Fox, how you doing there, buddy? Are you still undecided? That's always such an interesting dig at people, especially finfluencers like myself. It's I make money by doing the opposite. It's how is that possible when I'm net ahead? It literally makes no sense. It's these people who brag, they're oh, dude, you're so bad. Bro, I'm up $100,000 trading options. I'm up $200,000 trading Apex. I'm up net $300,000 this year. And they're bro, I do the opposite. You're so bad. It's such a weird dig because you just know it's bullshit. My stuff is all public. I stream my Apex to you. I show you proof of the payouts. Everyone in the Discord sees all of my trades. And they're dude, this guy's such trash. Dude, he's such trash. Matt, your lucky shirt is paying off. Can I lease it from you? Sorry, man, I need it. Dude, the month of April, I need to build up a little bit of luck momentum here. In fact, I was in the market. I was going to ask you for a lucky shirt. I was going to ask you, man. I was going to say, I need a couple more. I'm the one in the market trying to lease additional lucky clothing. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Do I want to move it all the way up to 58? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. I'm worried about how the rejection might play out at 200. Let me check. Hang on. Let me check the market really quick. SPY. We're going. New intraday high in the SPY and the Qs. Let's just go. Let's go for it. Come on. Come on. All right, let's just max it out. At this point, I'm pretty much pot committed. At this point, your boy's all in. There's no, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? No, folks. It's either going to hit or it's not. At this point, there's no more of like, oh, like check, call, should we just bail on it? At this point, you went all in, I went all in. It's time to see the river. Like there's a certain point of no return. And yeah, maybe over here, maybe in here, there's decisions. But no, at this point, someone said all in. I flipped a chip in, and we're all just waiting for the river. We're all waiting for the river. We're just waiting for it. Come on, don't get rejected at 200. Don't do it to me. Would we hit 206? Come on. Just bust through. To be fair, one of the tools I have, it is saying that stiff support is showing up here at yesterday's high. I do want to call that out. So just be careful. Please be careful. In the event that we hit my final bull target of the day, don't be surprised because I'm not seeing fresh bets come in higher than this value, which means people are playing it, but they're not like overshooting as of now. Just obviously as of 11:13, there's kind of a ceiling being put on the day. All right, where are we at? Here we go. Lucky shirt, dude. I need this, dude. I need a fucking win. I haven't had a win since Nam. Your boy has not had a win since Nam. At a certain point, when you're on such a unlucky streak, you would think statistically that means you're about to get lucky. How's the Iron Condor doing? Right now, it's being tested on the one side. Technically, it's actually in breach on one side. It was at 5445, so it's underwater by 10 points on the call credit side. Come on. Keep going. Just 20 points. 20 points. You could do it. Bring it home. Slow. I don't even mind. A nice slow grind. Just don't give me these red bars like we saw. These like weird little... No, hold 200. Hold 200. We're running into a little bit of an issue here. What do we have going on? Mag 7, the flow picking up. I like that. SPY, we ripped, taking a little bit of a breather, but there was a big pop there. Let's look at the 5 second. Yeah, huge pop, and it popped, taking a little breather. Let's see if it can continue. Let's look at the same time frame on the Mag 7. Same thing. We had a pop. It's just kind of going sideways, taking a bit of a breather. Let's see if the fun can continue. Let me check this out. We are negative. Positive gamma is 5470. Okay. And we're also seeing some sold calls at 5470. This is pretty much in line with yesterday's high. Be careful at yesterday's high. I could easily see a pump up there, but the way we saw a pump and then a rejection, don't be surprised if that happens again roughly within this zone. All right, come on. I just need a little bit of a push. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. I've been in this trade forever. It feels like when did we get into this trade? I've been in it forever. Come on. Don't you do it. No. It's just, see how it's just struggling at 200, ripped up to 200, and now it doesn't know what it wants to do. Why would you not cut it now? Why should I cut it now? Are you saying cut it now just because you see green on the board? Or like what are you seeing that makes you think, oh, this is like the top and there's no more? Tariffs will have a negative effect on growth. That was Governor Bailey. I mean, if you have max your buffer, you could take it. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking at these 3 wicks right here at 11.11, 11.13, and 11.15. I'm kind of watching this 90 level. Kind of watching that 90 level. And I'm also over here looking at the options flow, which isn't necessarily breaking down. If I saw some weakness in the options flow, I'd be more willing to just be like, yo, this is like close enough, time to like fucking call it a day. But the options flow, SPY is flat, mag 7 is like holding nicely, like it's not taking a hit, and all I need is just like one or two good green bars, and then I could be out, and I could not only take care of all the buffer, but I would make a nice 60K. Just gotta wait to see which way this is gonna go and pray that there's not some random announcement. Part of me is really thinking about moving the stop right up to 90 though, because in that event, whatever, I'm like pretty much maxing it out. I'll be off by 10 points. No big deal. So that's, I guess, in real time what's going through my mind. And I keep just peeking the options flow over here, which is just as indecisive as the prices. As indecisive as the prices. Come on. All right. You know shit's getting real when you're going to the smallest time frame. See how we just pumped up here sideways. I'm basically just hoping this doesn't happen, which is seemingly happening. Come on. It was looking good for a second, and now it's not. Oh, doesn't know. Range bound. Right at 200. If only I were in 26 points earlier, I could have just got out at this key level and moved on with my life. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Shit. All right, now it's time to decide. Do I just take this or do I go through this entire fucking whipsaw again? I'm going to give it a quick second just to see if anyone buys it up. Apparently no buyers to be found on that bar. Shit. Come on. Yeah, we're right at that 80. This is that previous high. This is why I marked out the 80, because I knew it was a previous high. I just want to see if we have now sellers turning into buyers at this level. Do we have sellers turning into buyers at this level? How is the options flow looking? It's actually kind of turning on me now, which is freaking me out a little bit. Come on. If we can bounce off of this, I could obviously make that my low and just move my stop right up to there, because it's close enough that I could deal with that differential. Come on, just pop again so I can move my stop, and then all of my stress will leave. Just pop. Shit. No, break that way. Come on, buyers, step in. Push 90 again. I want this to push 90. I could move my stop up there, and then whatever. And then from there, I can deal with that buffer differential. No problem. Just pop. Come on. Just pop up to 90. I could easily deal with this. No. That's not looking so constructive for me. What's the options flow looking like right now? Shit, we never got it. Yeah, the SPY in the very short term took a bit of a hit. I assume some profit taking. Well, maybe a flush. I just want to just take out 90 and I can move my stop to roughly this region, and then I'll just deal with it from there. It's close enough to what I needed that I'm not going to be so pig-headed. I just want to give myself a reasonable chance. So example, why didn't I move it there right away? Well, sometimes you see these little fake outs. Come on. I'm looking at this. Come on. Just a bit more. So in the shortest of time frames, we just made a fresh high, but we also made a fresh low. So telling you that no one really knows what the hell's going on. it is getting painful to hold at this level. I'll admit it. I mean, at this point, it would just be silly to let it come back that far. So that's why I'm kind of white knuckling it. Fuck. Kind of why I'm white knuckling it. Come on. See, like we sold and now it's just getting all jagged. It doesn't know what the fuck it wants to do. Clearly reacting to the previous high that we saw earlier today. That's this teal line. Come on, just push it for me a little bit so I can comfortably just move my stop up to here, and then it's out of my hands. It either hits my profit, hits my stop, but regardless, I'll be, of course I would want the profit to be hit, but I'd be happy with like either situation. It's just we are still kind of trending down here. We almost got going for a second there, but then we didn't. Fuck. No, stop. Shit. I have to make a decision. Yeah, we're getting goosed again. Oh, what do I want to do? Do I want to hold on and just see if it comes all the way back? Just being that close to the buffer, it's so fucking frustrating. I'm very zoomed in. This is the 100 tick, obviously trending down now. It's just how much pain do I want to take? How much pain do I want to take? The pain levels are definitely getting high. What is kind of keeping me in is I see the Mag 7 is not really doing anything. It's not selling. The price sell-off is not in agreement with the Mag 7 options flow. The Mag 7 options flow is staying flat. The SPY took a bit of a hit. More specifically, calls got sold. So we had profit taking on that secondary push of 5450. So we're seemingly running into right here on this extra push to the upside. We had more profit taking, but I'm wondering if we can find now support. What turned into resistance, I'm hoping, and now it's getting to the point of a bit of a Hail Mary prayer of like, will this resistance now turn into support? Will it? Here's what I'm seeing in the options flow, by the way, just to show you guys. Kind of flat here on the Mag 7, not really selling off with price. Well, the SPY did, but now even the SPY is kind of going flat. What's the more recent? Yeah, you could see how the more recent, it's just flat here. So we had calls. This is profit taking. This was not bear stepping in. We can see that right here, the green. See how the green and the orange dropped while the blue was flat? This is just people at 11.18 taking their profits. And I was hoping that they would just chill for a second, but apparently they are not. And that's putting me in a bit of a tight situation. Oh, just to be that close to what I needed. But it just, the NASDAQ ran into issues at 19,200 flat. And I needed it at like, what was it, 26? Yeah, I needed it at 26. So we got close. And it's just when you're right there, you're kind of playing which way is it going to break, which way is it going to break, and it got smacked. Once again, as in before, if I were already above the buffer, if I had my 3K, if I'm at 5,300 on this breakdown, yep, stops right there. And like, I don't have to take the risk at all. Like, just that's good risk management. That's how I would normally be trading if I even had the smallest buffer. But this is day one, so I have effectively no buffer. But yes, this breakdown at 11.19, just to be clear, had I had a buffer, if I were trading my own account, yes, 100%, no doubt in my mind, that is the point to get out. And that's kind of like my qualms with this type of stuff is I think sometimes it puts you in the position to make decisions that you're not necessarily like a fan of. Like, but I want to be very, very clear. I would argue as a day trading perspective, that was the time to get out. If you're saying, why didn't you get out at 11.19? I agree with you. I fully agree with you. I think from a tactical standpoint, that is the point to get out. I just have to consider like my buffer issues. So if you're sitting there thinking, why didn't I? No, if I had a static buffer, if I were trading my own account, that is clearly the point to get out, because if it keeps going down, well, you're good. And then if it rebounds, you could always get back in. And in fact, I actually might have considered getting back in here at 11.26 and risking this recent low. So like, I just have to take on a bit of risk, and hopefully that this trend line breakout actually holds. Come on. Come on. If you get out right now, no, your buffer never resets. It's not based on your trading day. It's your buffer is just your buffer. It's not like they give you a new buffer. That wouldn't make sense for them to be like, oh, it's a new day, so here's a brand new buffer. You can move your profit target right there right now, but you won't. Jeremy, I don't know what okay. You're just not understanding what this is, like, whatsoever. And I don't know. I feel like there's a portion of the audience that fully understands what's going on, and you're like, oh, okay, like, you can't have that much of a differential. And then there's people like Jeremy who are like, you're thinking about it without this buffer in mind. And I know it's different and it's foreign, so maybe that's like why it's tough for some people to understand. But very obviously, there's a portion of the audience right now who's just never traded on sim to funded. I'm already fully admitting, I'm just literally reiterating myself at this point. Like, there's certain people who are going to get it, certain people who won't. Jeremy, 100% understand. No, obviously you don't. Very evidently you don't. And that's fine. Some people in the audience are going to get it, especially if you used it before, if you've heard me explain the same thing 10 times over. And then there's other people who are just like not going to get it. And at a certain point, when I'm in the middle of the trade, I can't explain the same thing for the 19th time to the people who are just not going to get it. And whatever. Maybe we'll get lucky. Like I said, it comes back down to this like 50-50. No, you said you should have had your stop there. You could move your point there right now. No, look at this. Whatever the number is right now, if it's below 2.5K, that's my new buffer. So you start with a 2.5K buffer. Maybe this is a better way to explain it. Whatever number you see me having right now, that is my buffer. So you start with a 2.5K buffer. As you can see, my accounts are currently at 1.6, which means I lost $1,000 worth of my buffer. Obviously, disadvantageous. If it goes up, my buffer will get bigger and bigger and bigger. The lower it drops, if I were to get out right now, I literally would be locking it in saying, okay, cool, I have 1,000 less of buffer. That's exactly 100% what it is saying. So whatever number this is that you guys see above my head, that is my current buffer, just because it's based off your unrealized high. Like you guys can see, it went up to 09. I was trying to get 26 and lock it in and be done for the day. And I just got unlucky that it didn't go another 15 points, and it just is what it is. And you take that risk. I was hoping that this trend line would break out, would hold. I was hoping that this trend line breakout would hold. It's just, they're not holding. It's just still getting smacked because people are getting other calls. It is not, I don't know. I can't keep explaining this thing like a gazillion times in the same day. So if you guys need me to repeat it once again tomorrow, I could give it a whirl, but it really does feel as if 99% of the audience is completely understanding what's happening, while we have 1% who's asking the same question over and over again, where the other 99% already got it and it was answered. And I'm just at the point, where you'll figure it out. I don't know. You're an adult. If you have the capability to figure out your way to watching the show and to trade at all, I think if you give it 5 more seconds of thought, you're going to understand what's going on. But explaining the thing a gazillion times, just time and time and time again, at a certain point, it's on you, the student, not on me, the explainer. Is it still 1 day pass? If so, I found success. Kind of like, yes, it is still 1 day pass. The deal is going to last for another 14 hours, 90% off. You could take the test for $16-17 and you could pass it in 1 day. All right. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's these calls right here, starting at 11:18. You could just see 0 DT calls were getting locked in. People were taking their profits, and it simultaneously aligned right with this like gamma zone, unfortunately. You should have moved the buffer to 1980, taking the 500 and a hit in the buffer. I guess I could have. That's like a hindsight thing of like, you don't know what the next bar is. And as I was looking at it, 80 was right here. I was like it was dancing at 80 because like I knew 80 was the previous level, so it came here. It looked like as it started dancing around without knowing the next bar, looking at this setup, how do you, like it could easily break out. The point was like you have that 50-50 risk of a breakout and a push to my target or breakdown. But right here, we sold to a key level. Once again, when you're at a key level, it's a 50-50 like flip. Obviously, I was hoping that it would break out, but it always comes back to this concept of you don't know the next movement. You don't know the next bar. As much as it unfortunately did break down right here and then quickly went 20 points, which was like pretty fast to react to. It could have gone 20 points to the upside and then ripped and hit it. You don't know. I think there's a lot of people who look at this in hindsight, and you guys are trying to give me advice on the fact of saying you now know. But like at this point in time, at 11:22, 11:23, none of you would have confidently said it and we're now sitting at support. You have a 50-50 shot of a breakout or a breakdown. So now you guys are trying to give advice knowing where it went, but you never know where it's going to go because we're making decisions in real time. So right here, same thing. If I were to ask you guys this question at 11:33, no one can definitively say, is this breakout going to hold? It got rejected. It got rejected. Yes, this could be the official low and we could bounce off of it. This could be the trend line hold and we rip and I get my profit target. Or it could just be another fake out breakout and we plummet and I blow out my accounts. You don't know. It's that 50-50 shot. Like from here, it could rip all the way back up. I find that a lot of people try to critique themselves and other traders and ideas based on knowing how it plays out. But knowing how it plays out is obviously absurdly different from trading in real time. So if I were to show you this, you would not know. No, all you could say is we had a pump, we had a pullback to a key level. And if I showed you this, like half of you would be right and half of you would be wrong. There's no model in the world that would say, oh yeah, I knew this was going to break down. It just happened. You flipped a coin and it broke down. So if you were short, great, it worked. If you were long like me, obviously you paid. And then here on the breakout, once again, if I showed you this, not knowing the future, is this a breakout or not? We sold off, seemingly double bottom. Is this a trend line break and we rip? Okay, once again, 50-50. You do not know. Of course, people are going to be like, well, I knew it was going to break down because you already knew the future here. But as I just said in this example, you don't know. Like I feel like I have to really drive this concept home. Folks, at any of these developments, at any of the key levels, will it support, resistance, trendline breakouts, you have a 50-50 fucking chance. A 50-50 chance. And from there, yes, with when you max out your buffer, and you could do static, then you could be what I would consider a better strategic trader, as in like really manage your risk. But when you're first growing out your accounts, you just simply can't. You simply cannot, just because of how much it eats into it. And had I known that this was the high a day, of course, I wish I would have got out there. I wish I would have gone short. I wish I would have played every single bar perfectly. I wish I would have gone long, like long here, short here, of course. But if you're holding yourself to that standard of knowing the exact pivot points, the exact high and low, you're never going to be able to do it. Never going to be able to do it. So this idea of people saying like, oh, I knew what was happening. Well, okay. If you were so good at it, if you were so good at knowing what was going to happen, where's your hedge fund? If you're such a phenomenal lights out trader, like show me your yacht, because if you're that good, you should be making money hand over fist. Matt, I called it by looking at the Stoic RSI and MACD exactly at that time. That's a very silly, rudimentary way. The stochastics and the stochastic RSI and the MACD are backwards looking. They are a mathematical computation off the recent price action. They have nothing to do with telling you the future. The literal equation for how you compute stochastic RSI, MACD, any of that stuff is based on the previous price action. Previous price action is not indicative of the future price action. It's just telling you this is what happened at 11:32. This is what happened at 11:33. This is what happened at 11:34. And those are mathematical applications on top of it. Inherently, all indicators are backwards looking because the math is based on the previous price action. It has nothing to do with the next bar. If it did, worked for me today. Dude, holy, are you fucking stupid? Worked for me today. What a dumb fucking example. Like truly, like I feel like I put in the effort to explain the actual statistics of the market. And then we have certain people like that who are just so fucking brain dead. Eddie, it's a 50-50 fucking shot. Worked for me today. Cool. Okay. What does it work for you tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day? I could ask my cat on a daily basis, should I be bullish or bearish? And she would be right half the time. That doesn't mean here's my Piper indicator. Like this is why 95% of traders fail, is because they say dumb fucking things like this. Yes, agreed. However, people see oversold condition and plan ahead. That's time frame dependent. Are we oversold on the 4-hour chart? How do you know most people are looking at the exact same time frame as you? That's what I'm saying. Is like, dude, you got to think about this in more of a mature way. Like you do, like this is not a mathematically intelligent way to engage in the market. It was oversold. Are you on the 15-second chart? Are you on the 10-minute chart? Are you on the 30-minute chart? Like, do you really think that big money is looking at the exact same time frame as you and they're like, oh, that RSI is oversold? Fuck, man. Like it's just, it makes no sense. It makes no sense that people can hold these thoughts so dearly and so close to their heart, and yet they're not profitable traders. It worked for me today. What a dumb fucking response. Worked for me today. Okay. Cool. Whatever. Okay. I hope you're profitable. I don't hope anyone loses money, but I'm going to tell you, if you approach the market continually with commentary like that, or the other fucking guy, Undecided Candles, who he said the market was going to break down and we're now like 1% higher than we were. Folks, people can talk and they can have their thoughts and their opinions, but at the end of the day, there's a scoreboard. The scoreboard is your P&L. Is your P&L going up or down? Are you net profitable in the long run? Are you net loser in the long run? And one day, one instance of a trade is not the end all be all. The best trading systems have losing trades. The worst trading systems make money. People like to use like individual counterexamples to prove or disprove, and it's just such a if you do that, you're not going to be successful in trading. Like you're simply not. My bearded dragon says we're about to break out. I'm going all in. I mean, that's going to be as accurate as other 50-50, like RSI this, RSI that. And what's crazy about it is I guess I'm not here to bash on RSI. You can make profitable systems using RSI. But people, I see it. I mean, we even have it in the Discord. People use examples of one time they're like, it worked today. Okay, fucking cool. Shit working or not working in such a small data set, that's not trading. And people love, dude, the amount of fucking gurus and furus I see who try to use individual instances of something happened to try to prove or disprove an entire concept. It is endless. It is absolutely endless. But then why using just backwards indicators anyway? I find that, price action itself is backwards looking because it's the price action that came out. So when you're looking backwards at price action, that's also inherently how you are getting your indicators. I'm not saying that it's not useful. I'm just saying know the limitations of the tool. I'm not against using indicators. I'm not against using technicals. I find if anything, indicators and technicals are best used for setting your risk of I have this theory, whether you're bullish or bearish, and it helps you, gives you measurable points of where you would just finally admit that you were wrong if the trade goes awry. So like I said, it's just no indicator is perfect. If there were a lights out perfect indicator, you have to understand that people would just be making billions and billions of dollars every single day. If RSI was that good, Eddie here saying that the stochastic RSI, he saw it in the stochastic RSI. If that indicator were that good, he would not be here. he and among other people, they would find it. They would have found this holy grail of the market, and they'd be printing money every single day. If it were truly that good, if it were that lights out of an indicator, but the fact that people are freely talking about it and are probably who are using it are not net profitable, that tells you something that just the indicator itself is not a profitable way standalone to engage in the market. And there is no indicator in the world that is standalone a perfect way to engage in the market. Folks, I'm here in New York. I have many, many friends who work at hedge funds. I have friends who work at exchanges. I'm telling you, big money people, they're not sitting there and saying, oh man, oh, this is a bullish pennant breakout and look at the RSI reading. That's not how this game works at all. This idea of being so myopically focused with an indicator or maybe a particular technical setup, that's exclusive to the world of retail. It is very much exclusive to the world of retail. And that should tell you something, because if something is in the world of retail and you have all these people telling you it's the end all be all and they swear by it, and then yet that exact same group of people, most of them lose money trading, like what does that tell you? Like what's the logical thing you can pull from that? Dude, Ken Griffin's not sitting there saying, oh, fuck, man, like this is a bull channel. Oh, did you see what's going on with the Keltner channel? Like it just doesn't exist. But then yet, for some reason, I guess shout out to my shirt, the retail community is buffaloed into thinking that there is like some sort of perfect technical setup, some sort of like perfect indicator. It's just not how it works. Like it's just truly not how this game works. And for some reason, retail traders are very, very susceptible to believing it, because we all want to believe that you can easily make money. Like honestly, at the end of the day, we all want to believe that, like, okay, if you use this one thing and you can learn it in a day, oh, perfect, lights out. You're financially free. All you have to do is start trading on it. Folks, dude, if that existed, like, we wouldn't see the stats we see. We wouldn't see the amount of retail traders blowing out that we see blowing out. We would see a lot more people making a lot more money every single day. And it's just not how it works. Like it's just truly not how it works. Matt, you should have gone back long back in 2011 until now, silly boy. Yeah, it's just, why didn't I buy Nvidia in the 90s? Why didn't I buy Bitcoin when it was trading at $1? Dude, I had an indicator telling me to do that. So many people are holding themselves to this like perfect model of hindsight bias. And it's always like, well, it would have worked. It would have worked. It would have worked. It's like, yeah, okay. Will it work in the future? Just because you found an example of it working one time, that time, okay, flip a quarter. Does that mean that the quarter is better or worse than whatever your complex fucking RSI, Keltner channel, fair value gap bullshit is? If only we had time machines. That's where I'm at. All right, this is not making me feel so good. We had a breakout level. We broke above it. We came down. We danced there. We had this trend line breakout. We tried to re-break above it, and that's setting up a classic shoulder, head, shoulder. The interesting thing about head and shoulders, as I'm like literally here saying, hey, just like know the extent of technicals, that actually has the highest odds out of all well-known technical setups. The head and shoulders pattern actually has the highest rate of being accurate. That's kind of funny when people talk about like bull channels and bull pennants and bear this and bull that. A lot of them barely have an edge above 50%, like 55, 60%. Actually, a head and shoulder, there's been some extensive studies on it. Out of all technical patterns, head and shoulders is the most accurate, and it's in the realm of about 83% of the time it hits on major time frames. Not necessarily something like the 15 second or something like that. But once again, 83, so it's wrong 17% of the time. Oh, and I should clarify for that study, what they did, here, let me zoom out so I can explain it. What they did was they obviously identified the normal shoulder, head, shoulder, but you didn't enter the trade until it snapped the neckline. So if you were using today's setup as an example, the neckline would be all the way down here. And then the way they measured it was the distance from the neck to the head. That was their profit target. So this would be the head all the way up here. This would be the neck. The entry would be on the breakdown of the neck. And then it was successful if it went that same distance from the neck to the head, but like obviously that direction. And so So like technically now you might be seeing a shoulder, head, shoulder, but it wouldn't be valid until you snap the neckline, which was all the way down here at like 1049. So technically, even though we might be seeing it, another way you could look at it is, A, B, C, D. You could see higher highs, higher lows. You could see a cup and a handle. Like that's the thing with technicals is you can see literally like diametrically opposed technicals in the exact same setup. Even here, you could see consolidation. You could be like, oh, this is actually a bull pennant. So some people might see a shoulder, head, shoulder. Other people might be seeing here a bull pennant right here, waiting for consolidation to break one way or the other. We have this flag, lower highs, higher lows. Like it's just, that's the thing, is that it's more akin to an art form than it is an actual science. More akin to an art form than an actual science here. Dude, I feel like I've been waiting for this forever. We're like 47 minutes over here. I really thought something would be happening in this time frame, but maybe I shouldn't be complaining because maybe that thing happening is going against me. Isn't it also much more accurate on longer time frame, like greater than 30 minute? What more accurate? Head and shoulders? Generally all, I mean, I don't know what your question is specific to, but in a general sense, technicals and indicators are generally more impactful on larger time frames. The smaller your time frame, the more randomness involved. So the statistics are a bit more robust and repetitive and concrete the larger your time frame. So if you're trading, like when people are like, yo, I trade like the 1 minute or something like that, cool. Truly just like good luck, because it's, if you were to do a study of a 1 minute bar, all 1 minute bars on the S&P 500 in existence, it would almost damn near be perfect, a 50% red and 50% green. If you were to look at the size of the 1 minute green or red, once again, it would be almost the what's going on right now shit. I don't like, whenever things get nutty, I get a little bit freaked out because it makes me think that news is happening. And as much as we see pumps, they could be followed by very quick dumps. What is it? I'm not seeing, does anyone have, is there any news coming across the line for anyone? I just saw a random pump that is kind of being given back. What is it? Anything? I see the Mag 7 options pop. I see the SPY options pop. Does anyone have any news? Or is this just random price trading? Does anyone have any news? Atlanta Fed minus 2.5. I think that was okay. Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. U.S. Atlanta Fed GDP minus 2.5. Previous was minus 2.2, and the market bounced on that. Well, we got to the top of it, if you believe in these technicals, which was also the previous high, but we're also seeing higher lows. This is, I'm going to need to be, is it giving it back? Dude, do I just want to end this? Come on. Just, why can't we just see like two quick bars, like pop, pop, knock me out, give me my money, and then I move on with my life? Well, that was enough to give us a little bit of a pop, but we've already given half that pop back. And have we faded that entire range already? Come on, just break out. Come on. Here's a quick look at how that news was interpreted by the options market. Dude, we are just now kind of going nowhere. Here, let me go back to this. We had a quick little pop in options, which got price to go up, and then it kind of bled down. And then But Mag 7 is picking up. Oh, just got smacked. Something happened. But price is still... So there, as price quickly popped, that was seemingly options related, but then we didn't get a follow through on options, and now we're just perfectly at that EMA. We're still in this cloud. It's just painful, painful, painful. Oh, do I just want to end this here? If I get out now, my delta would be $600. So remember, my buffer starts at 2.5K. Whatever number this says, that's currently my buffer. Like literally this number is my buffer. So wherever I get out, that's my buffer. Am I going to get... Come on. Get back above 200. Potential breakout here. I like the higher lows. I like the higher highs. Are we seeing agreement with options flow? SPY did take a hit, flat, but maybe picking up a little bit. The Mag 7 was trying to, man, like the faucet just got turned off at like 10:45 or something. Come on, break to the upside. Just let me out of this misery. Let me out of this misery. Matt, would you put volume over technicals like RSI and Bollinger Bands? No. Volume is just volume. Like it's just how much people are trading. Remember, volume doesn't tell you if people are bullish or bearish. It just tells you how many people are transacting. It's one thing to see like VWAP, like where people transacted at, like the volume footprint on the sides. But if you're just talking about the volume on the bottom of your screen, like it's just volume. Every buyer has a seller. Every seller has a buyer. It just tells you how many people are transacting. But it doesn't really give you an indication of bullish or bearish. It also doesn't give you an indication of what's about to come. Just because someone traded 10,000, does that mean the next bar is going to trade 8,000 or 12,000? Volume's just volume. Like I said, I do see... I know I've studied it. The statistical relationship of like something like VWAP, that's important because it gives you an idea of the average participant. Are they bullish or are they profitable or are they not profitable on the day? So something like VWAP, which is like somewhat volume related, I agree with that. I see a little bit of utility with the volume footprint, like the volume profile on the side, just because once again, it tells you where people have transacted and that might tell you where they're about to transact. So I see a little bit of like predictability in that. But in terms of just the volume on the bottom, like it's fine. All right, just give me my money so I can end this today. Come on. After all of this, dude, we've been in a slog today. I'm talking as if it's over, which is so stupid. All right, come on. This has been the trade from hell. But we're battling it out. When did I first get into this? I got into it back at 1020. More specifically, I've been in this trade since actually 10:14, 10:15. I got into this trade at 10:15, seriously? I got in all the way back here, 10:14. I've been in this trade for almost 2 hours. 2 hours and counting. It's not even over yet, folks. I still need this to go up about 15 points. We just hit a new high, but barely. Just barely. What do you think of the DMI indicator? Never heard of her. But my answer is going to be the same as any other indicator. It's probably fine, but it's not going to be an end all be all. It's what you use in conjunction with other stuff that makes you successful or not. But like one indicator? No. Volume footprint chart. I already have 2 feet. I don't need more of them. Come on. Come on. Oh. Not this again. Not this again. This might be the longest fucking trade. No. No, not again. Son of a bitch, dude. Just when it looked like it was going to finally do what I needed it to do, just daggered me. Daggered me. If it can push 95, we have like no announcements or anything, do we? Dude, talk about stairs up, elevator down. What we just had to grind out for so long. How quickly is this shit get? Oh my God, dude. It's just hot butter on the way down. We just sliced through it. What took 5 minutes to build up took 45 seconds to burn down. All right. If we can take out, what is this? 95. I think I might move my stop up here. I'm not having fun with this anymore. This is just getting too fucking stupid this day. And what's painful is if I do get knocked out, like I still feel very confident that not only we're going to get hit this, but we're going to keep going. I mean, the market seemingly, yeah, all that's bullish. All of that's bullish. We're just battling it out. Yeah, it's just this brutal battle. This is exactly why we lay out these key levels, is because you know you're going to have like quite the fight there. Yeah, if this can push, like, and basically I'm looking for this low at 1157 to like actually represent a potential higher low, and then I'll just move my stop up there is kind of what I want. But for that to happen, price would need to push above 90, 95. So I'm looking for this zone so I could just put it up there and then just let the market gods deal with the rest of this trade. But of course, they don't want to make it that easy on me. They do not want to make it that easy on me, do they? Fucking shit. Do I just want to end this? What time is it? It's 11:58. We're almost at the turn. Come on, just pump. Just pump to 90. Pump to like right here just so I could do it. Wow, I cannot believe 5 minutes of build, 45, and then it keeps going. Son of a bitch, man. The market really does not want to keep going. I thought we would see this behavior closer to yesterday's high, based on just where we see positioning coming into the market. I really, really did. I thought this is exactly how it would behave around 5475, not 5450 on SPX. Dude, seriously, all of that grind just to give it back in sub 2 minutes, it's going to make me rip my fucking hair out, dude. Uncanny. Wow, what the fuck is going on? Are we going to hold this again? It's starting to get to that point where it's looking a little bit suspect. Like if we're going to like, yes, that rejection, the pullback, the pump, not so good. The pullback, we put in a high low. The fact that like we just barely made it and it got smacked so swiftly, like if it shows a little bit more weakness here, the bulls might just be out of steam. I'm trying to be conscious of that fact that like there's only so much you should really push your look, because inherently when you're continually failing to get a bullish breakout, like at a certain point, that's just bearish. And for the amount of times we've knocked on this door, dude, I mean, so close, 10 points away. I haven't moved this profit target like at all. It's not like I'm getting more and more greedy with it. It's like, it's just been there. All right, I'm going to give this to 12:15, and that's it. I got to go by 12:15. I got to go by 12:15. Come on. 74. Got things to do. People to meet. Showers to cry in. This has been a long ass trade. I feel like this is my longest Apex trade in quite a while. generally you're in and out seemingly within like 10 minutes. Fuck, dude. Oh, how's the options flow? Do I even have a shot? Dude, it's just not something. I mean, it popped, it pulled back. It was just trying to pop, but then it just got smacked again, like literally within the past 10 seconds. Popped, pulled back, tried to get going. Nope. Looking at the Mag 7, same thing. We got this pop, the pullback. Dude, I fucking hate like the whole buffer thing. I think their buffer rule, like I get why they do it because it would be way too easy to game the system. But for people who aren't trying to game the system, like it does prompt you to do things you wouldn't normally do. Like this is not how I like to trade. I think it's not enough respect for your risk management. Like I think it gets good traders just to build out that buffer to do shit you know you shouldn't do. And like, I don't know, thinking about it, like, I don't know what the happy medium is because they have to have these rules so people don't game them because then everyone would game them if you had it. But like, it is frustrating when you're trying to trade well, not game the system, and then yet you still have to abide by the rules that are going to be negatively impacting you because the rules are there for the people who are just trying to go for those like waterfall profits and whatnot. And like, it's the same thing with the consistency rule. I think the consistency rule, that 30% consistency rule, legitimately hurts people who are trend following traders because certain days you catch a nice trend and you ride it all day, and then yet you can't really do it. Like if I guess in a weird way, these things are kind of set up for people who are mean reverting traders of when you're going for a measured profit target and like it's kind of small and like you're ideally just stacking up small win, small win, small win, small win. It's that type of style that the rules are like most reasonable to like accept. But if you are a trend following trader, you have to kind of contort your trading strategy every so often. Just to deal with this horse shit. Am I going to get lucky with the double bottom here? Come on. I feel like I've been watching this 80, 90 level all fucking day of like, is it above it or below it? Come on. Pump it. Pump it. Just one big candle. Just rip it all the way up. Get me out. Give me my 60K and I can move on with my life. Uh, 80. A 5. I could, like I said, I'll give it till 12:15 before I ditch. I've just been here for way too long that I almost kind of, it's not fair to show you guys 99% of the book and not let you know what the last chapter was here of how this actually concludes. Of course, I could tweet it out. I do, if you are bullish and you're like, no, I'm going to hold this throughout the day. Even if we get this afternoon push, like I want to make this very clear. There is a clear ceiling being set by the call traders, the call side of the options market at 5475. It's a very, very evident ceiling being set right now on SPX. Now, of course, trades in the afternoon might change it, but like as of right now, a very, very evident ceiling is being put in. Very evident ceiling. Dude, we've done fuck all. Tesla taking a bit of a hit. What do we have here? Mag 7 popped until about 1156, a little bit of a hit. The S&P 500 popped 55, came down, maybe losing a little bit of it. Not really doing anything, actually. The fact that this failed again kind of freaks me out, but I'm also trying to be reasonable to the fact that it's lunch. So maybe there's just no fall. I mean, look at this. You could just nowhere. We're just going sideways. So it's so hard to know which way this will or won't go. And what's sad is I just like barely needed it above the intraday high. So even if it were a fake out breakout, I would still most likely get my profit target. but it's just so like, I mean, look at this. It's just so much of a sideways grind. We are still technically getting higher highs and higher lows, but we are very much pushing for a potential new low, which would be economically impactful for me. I hate trading this way. It's just not me. It's not how I view the market. Like the way that I'm being forced to trade right now is just in no way how I agree with the market, dude. Is it really coming down? Fuck me. No, son of a bitch, dude. Go right back in. Fake out. Little dip buying coming in at recent lows that pops it maybe? Or am I just seeing visions of grandeur? Apparently visions of grandeur. What do you think the SPY is going to do? It doesn't matter. It's a silly way to trade. What do you think it's going to do? Just, y'all. The game of trading is reacting to what is happening, not what you think is going to happen. There's too many people trying to predict, and all those people attempting to predict lose money. It's a very financially silly way to engage in with the market of attempting to predict. You look at support, you look at resistance, you look at momentum, price structure, options flow. You take in that data, you either decide to be trend following or mean reverting, and you move on with your life. You don't predict of like, the next bar is green, the next bar is up, the next bar is down. No one ever talks about how they enter their orders in the trading platform and how they have it set up as a big trade. I don't quite know what that means. That just seems like, do you know the mechanics of how to use your brokerage? I think it would be a great video to help people more consistently other than knowing what to do. I guess I don't even get what you're trying to point out. No one ever talks how they enter orders in their trading platform. That just click around on your platform until you figure out how to enter orders. I guess I don't know what your question is. You're either doing market buys, market sells, you're doing stop. Like that's just you clicking around on the platform until you realize like how to properly use it. Fuck. What the options are giving way, dude. We're getting into that lunch. Remember how I said I did some studying of like be done by lunch? Technically, that was when to enter. It seemed like it was an ideal time to roughly enter between 10:15 and 12. Just to be fair, it wasn't necessarily getting out of the trade, but I am acknowledging the fact that we're getting in lunch, and generally in lunch things get a little bit more random, a little bit more choppy. And right now with current volatility, it could chop against me by like 30, 40 points and then be right back. But what matters to me is that chop against me could be seriously detrimental. But as for whoever was asking that question, I realize, but platform setup is one thing that sets up constantly. That's not interesting for me to cover because there's already a gazillion videos with it. And I think that's a low effort thing. Either you just put in the effort to learn your platform or you don't. Like that's not an interesting problem whatsoever. Just like set up your platform. Once you do it once, you're done. Like what's much more interesting to me is like the math of market makers and where they're going to react and why they're going to react and comparing different options flow over time frames and vol crush and Havana rally. Like that's the interesting stuff where like if you understand it, you could get the influences of the market and ideally make some good money. How to set up your platform. What? It's out there. And even if you don't watch a video, like literally just click around on a sim account until you learn how to trade on your platform. But your setup was many would like to mimic. Okay, so mimic it. What the fuck? I'm not going to spoon feed you. If you're a person who needs to be told every single thing to do in this game, you're not going to make money. out of many things in this world, like this is one of the most like evident, like self-starter, self-motivated. You got to put in like a little bit of effort. Like, holy shit, man. If just being spoon-fed on everything. Like if you're like, hey man, I put in this effort and I did this, this, and this, and I found this issue. Like, how'd you work around this issue? I'm like, more like, I don't want to gatekeep any information, but if you like think I'm just gonna hold your hand on like some of the most rudimentary stuff when it comes to the market, like, I don't fucking know. Like, just go put in some effort. All right, looks like we're getting that double bottom bounce that I dreamed of. People just want spoon feeding, apparently. Fuck. Is he going to get it back to 90, or are we just going to be stuck in this zone? How do I get out of bed in the morning? Generally kicking and screaming. Generally with a lot of kicking and screaming. I feel like maybe a good rule I should have is stop answering questions if the answer can be found within a 10-second Google search. I feel like that's potentially a good new rule. If the answer is not found within 10 seconds of a Google search, then I'll answer it. But like, I use Webull too as an internet, but every platform people learn tricks and tips. What tips and tricks do you want, dude? I'm not misunderstanding. It sounds like you just want a complete rundown on something that is relatively simple. Can you hold my hand as you take a tinkle? For an extra fee. All right. Dude, this is... Welcome to the longest, most painful trade that I have had in a hot minute. In this one trade, I have aged decades. Cortisol levels are off the chart. Blood pressure has gone so high, it's now effectively flatlined. What in the world is today? Do you put your left leg in your pants first or your right leg? I actually put my left leg in my pants right leg just to give myself like a challenge right out of the gate. Dude, this is my 50-50 luck. I feel like time and time again today, I'm just flipping a quarter and will it come up in my favor? Well, now we're at the top of this range. So 200's been a bitch and 210. I just need 226. Wait, you have legs? Come on. Get out ASAP. Shake your Trump. Why? What about this level is telling you I should get out? What are you seeing that's like, nope, this is it. It's going to turn. Take the money. FIS FF Sky Corp. Why? What about this level is saying, oh, get out because it's not going to go here? Will you trade for me for free would be great. I'm adept at losing money. So if you have too much money and you need someone to help you get rid of it, I am your guy. Get out. What are people are yelling get out based on what? Like, what the fuck? Why are you so confident that this is it and we don't break and run? All you can say is that we're at a key level. All you could possibly say, like, what are you possibly reading right here that you're like, nope, that's it. It's going to turn. The fact is they tried to break it multiple times before and we tried, and we are tired of being in the trade. Well, if you're tired of being in it, if you copied it, well, take it. I'm here just trying to be honest and humble and saying, I don't know. 50% chance we break out, 50% chance we break down. I know the overall trend on the day is up. So maybe it slightly gives it a favor to the upside. It's the undecided candle. All right. Well, I said 215. It's now 216, but it would be rude of me to get out to turn the stream off right now. Folks, as we're painfully going for all this, remember, this is the final day of the 90% off. If you've ever wanted to trade with $1 million of someone else's money, the way I am right now, or if you already been doing it and you want more, 90% off. It ends today. Use that code Goonie, Goonie. That's how you get 90% off and the 1-day pass. So if you hit the profit target today, you're trading on PA tomorrow, and you get a dirt cheap offer, 90% off, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And that's exactly what I've been battling out right with. I bought them all yesterday, the eval, turned them into PA this morning. I'm on PA right now, as in I went from eval to performance. And if it hits, ideally, I can lock in 3K per account. I have 20. That's the max you're allowed to have, is up to 20 accounts. And like I said, you could get them for dirt cheap with that code Goonie, 90% off. You guys playing other players play. Insane. Yeah, generally copying other people is not the best. Dude, just give me this money. Finally. This is what the Jews must have felt like in the desert. It feels like it's been 40 years and it's been hot as fuck. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. No. Don't you do this to me. Don't you do this to me. No. No, don't. Don't. No. Not after we've been through. Not after what we've been through. Not after this day. No. No. No, dude. How close did that get? It got up to 23. I was 3 points away. What a tragic end this would be. What a insanely tragic end this would be, folks. Come on. This has been... No. Stop. No fucking way. Stop. Stop. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to, dude... No. Come on. No. How do you possibly get this close? Dude. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna fucking... This is why people day drink. I now understand why as soon as the sun cracks, peeks through the morning cloud cracks, people are like, I need tequila. Come on. Oh, holy shit, folks. I'm just, holy fuck. Holy shit. That was a battle. That took 2 hours of just absolute pain. All right. Well, I'm obviously done there. I'm canceling the orders. I'm making sure that I don't have any rogue orders or anything like that. I'm making sure that nothing fires off that shouldn't be firing off. But I just made 3K on 25 different accounts, so 75K locked in. 3K on all 20 of my Apex accounts, 3K on all of my Take Profit accounts. So 3K times 25, $75,000 locked in, and it was a battle. It was an absolute freaking battle. If you want to try it out for yourself, like I said, dirt cheap on Apex right now, 90% off. Use that code Goonie, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. And I need to go take a breather. I need to walk outside. I need to do something. But that's what I have for you. Update video coming out later today. Streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. I hope you make a bag today. I appreciate all the good vibes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.